Well, good afternoon, everyone, from Municipal Stadium in Cleveland. The Cleveland Browns and the New York Giants renewing their annual rivalry here today in huge Municipal Stadium. I intend to play as many of the rookies as possible, says Coach Sherman prior to today's game. This will give us a broader base on which to evaluate them in terms of next year. 6 of these rookies figure to start this afternoon against the Browns. Tackle Willie Young and guard Charlie Harper in offense, and tackle Don Davis and linebackers Freeman White, Mike Ciccalella, and Jeff Smith on defense. The New York Giant offense, which generated a 66 high of 41 points against the Redskins, again will have Joe Morrison and Alan Jacobs at the running back spots, with Homer Jones, who has 40 for 849 yards and 7 touchdowns, Aaron Thomas and Bob Crispino as the receivers. Bookie Bolin, who injured his neck last week, is a doubtful starter at guard for Coach Ali Sherman, which means that Pete Case will move into his place. Otherwise, the Giants should be in fair physical shape. The New York defense, which has not been overly successful in stopping the opposition, faces a mighty tough assignment here against Cleveland this afternoon. Cleveland boasts a powerful running game, which is spearheaded by Leroy Kelly and Ernie Green, and a dangerous passing attack with quarterback Frank Ryan throwing to such receivers as Paul Warfield, Milt Morin, and need we mention Gary Collins. The Kelly-Green backfield unit, as we check the statistics, is the most explosive 1-2 punch in the National Football League, accounting for 1,609 yards rushing between them in 297 carries through 11 games. Kelly, a swift 200-pounder from Morgan State, is second in the league with 945 yards and a 5.5 average. Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem. The New York Giants and the Cleveland Browns from Municipal Stadium in Cleveland. This is Woody Erdman along with Ted Brown and Don Smith prior to kickoff of the game between these two traditional rivals. It is inconceivable that the New York Giants could have 27 of 40 men affected by injury and still suffer an even greater loss than all of this. However, such is the case today. Strange as it may seem, the latest Giants loss, great as it is, will not alter today's playing lineup, even the slightest, and yet the overall team momentum has been deeply affected. Removed from the Giants roster is the name of Dr. Francis Joseph Sweeney, who last Wednesday night in the dressing room of his beloved Manhattan College, after its basketball game with C.W. Post, suffered a stroke from which he never regained consciousness. It was a non-describable feeling to walk into the hospitality suite of the New York Giants last evening and know that he would never again be there. For he was the founder and the host of the Giants 5:30 social hour held at training camp and prior to each away game for coaches, executives, sports writers, broadcasters, and guests. It was equally non-describable to see the hotel room list last evening with a pencil mark drawn across the name of Doc Sweeney. And it is also non-describable to have felt his absence in the Giants dressing room this afternoon, and to know that he will never again be seen moving about along the Giants bench or running on the playing field to help an injured New York Giant. Up to this afternoon, he never missed a Giants game in 27 years of time. Even in 1963, when he severely injured his leg slipping on ice the day before a game, he had 2 trainers carry him onto the field on a chair and place him next to the Giants bench. When fullback Alex Webster suffered a head injury during that game, the trainers carried Doc Sweeney, chair and all, out to Alex on the field. He was a genuinely dedicated and sincerely interested man. Our network broadcaster, Don Smith, was for years Doc Sweeney's roommate on the travel roster of the New York Giants. And last night, Don Smith roomed alone. We all loved him. We'll all miss him. We'll never forget him. Doc Sweeney, team physician of the New York Giants. Let's take a look at the opening lineup for these two teams. Very rapidly, the starting offensive lineup for the Giants: Jones at left end, Young at left tackle, Case at left guard, the center Greg Larson, the right guard Bookie Bolin, the right tackle Roger Davis, the right end Bob Crispino, the backfield, the running back Joe Morrison, quarterback Gary Wood, the flanker back Aaron Thomas, who, as you recall, just a week ago was moved from his tight end position to the flanker back position when Morrison became the Giants running back. Alan Jacobs is the starting fullback for the Giants. For the Cleveland Browns, at left end Paul Warfield, at left tackle Dick Shafrath, at left guard John Wooten, at center Hoagland, at right guard Gene Hickerson, at right tackle Clark, at right end Smith. In the backfield, the running back Leroy Kelly, about whom we just spoken, the flanker back Gary Collins, the fullback Ernie Green, and the starting quarterback Frank Ryan. There you have the starting offensive lineups for the Giants and Cleveland Browns respectively. The two teams are making their appearances on the field right now. The captains moving to the center of the field. And while we have an opportunity, let's bring in Don Smith.
Well, Woody, as you mentioned before, it does seem strange to be here in Cleveland for one of these final games of the season and not have a lot riding on the outcome. But this is one of those years, and I'm sure the Browns are shooting for second place today. They'd like to go to Miami next month for that playoff ball game. So I'm sure that this game, while not as important in the standings, will have a great deal of impact to it.
The big game of the day, perhaps, Don, is the one that matches Dallas and St. Louis with identical records, particularly for New York Giant fans and fans of the Eastern Conference. A little later, perhaps at halftime, we want to go over with you this new arrangement in the National Football League, actually in professional football, of all of the teams. Right now, I see the two teams are making their appearances. The Browns will kick off to the Giants. Here for the play-by-play description, Ted Brown.
Thank you, Woody. To tell you just where we are, we're high atop Municipal Stadium, and it's a cold day. They're still taking the snow away from the end zone. And the Browns are wearing sneakers. Most of their ball players are wearing sneakers. The Giants are wearing their regular cleats. We're just about set for Gross to the kickoff. We have Harris and Childs deep men. There's the whistle. Gross comes forward. There's the boot. It's coming down about the 5-yard line. Childs takes it there at the 10, the 15, the 20, up the middle, the 25, the 30. He's in the clear at the 40-yard line, cutting toward the side of the 50. He may go all the way. Nobody around him. The 20, the 10, the 5, and he's over. Touchdown. What an opening to a ball game here at Municipal Stadium. The Giants score on the opening kickoff, a 90-yard run back by Clarence Childs.
Well, Ted Clarence has been threatening to break loose all season. Although his statistics don't show it, he has been one of the top kick return men. 2 or 3 times in recent weeks he has almost gotten through. Today he came right up the middle. I think the Browns hesitated, looking for him to turn to either side. He slowed down and then accelerated right up the middle, and it was home free for him.
Gogolak will try the extra point. He's wearing sneakers, too. Wood takes it, puts it down, it's up, and it's good. Well, the clock reads just about, 14:46 to go in the quarter. And the Giants are in front 7-0. In just 60 seconds, more National Football League action.
WGY is the station with the personalities. Leading off the broadcast day is Farm Editor Don Tuttle. 25 agricultural authorities appear on Don's program each week. AID and the State Department work with Don, and Don is accredited to interview the President of the United States. Next comes Bill Edwardson, the DJ's DJ. Most Northeasterners start their day with Breakfast with Bill. Bill is the most familiar sound in area radio, the pulse beat sound of the Northeast. And following Bill comes Jerry Ducey, a fast-moving personality to keep pace with the midday hours. Jerry's telephone talk show sparkles with commentary and spicy controversy. Martha Brooks is next, the First Lady of Broadcasting in the Northeast, the voice of the women's world, and the spokesman for fashion and community action. During the evening, Leon Kelly takes over. The pace is casual and easy to fit the nighttime hours, and the mood is easygoing comfort and smooth sounds. That's just some of the WGY personalities. Remember, WGY has the personalities people want to listen to today, tomorrow, and throughout the broadcast year.
15, the 20 goes toward the sideline at 25, the 30, and he's finally knocked down the 31-yard line. And that was Phil Harris did the job. He came in on that kickoff team to do it. And so it's 1st and 10 now for the Browns. On their own 31-yard line, they put it down on the 32. 1st and 10 on the 32, the Giants in front, 7-0 on a 91-yard kickoff return, the opening kickoff by Clarence Childs. Frank Ryan, the quarterback. Collins sent out to the right side now. Your deep men are Green and Kelly. Ryan waiting for the snap from Hoagland. He takes it. A handoff to Kelly coming around the left side. He's hit on the 35-yard line by Jeff Smith, and that's where the play ends.
Ted, you may remember at Yankee Stadium, the Browns were very successful in the end sweeps with Kelly and Green against the Giants. Today, I think we'll see the Giant defense adjusting slightly with the ends, playing a little wider, and perhaps those linebackers shooting through to get these men as they go laterally. At least Allie Sherman has made some adjustments to see if he can contain this end run.
Well, Don, it's going to be 2nd and 7 on their own 35. Collins goes out to the right side again. They're in that double wing now. That gives them 3 receivers on the right side. Deep man is Green. All right, Ryan takes it, a pitch out to Green, going around the left side. He's making the sweep at the 30. He tries to cut in. He's hit hard in the 32-yard line. A loss on the play. Henry Carr made the tackle. He lost 3 yards on the play. It'll be 3rd and 10 on the 32.
Ted, this is what we saw beautifully. They stripped the interference, and Lockhart came up fast from that outside and forced the play. This is what they did not do in the first game against Cleveland, and apparently now the Browns will not be able to run these sweeps so effectively today.
That's the idea, isn't it, Don? The first man knocks down the interference, and they come up to make the tackle.
That's right. The halfback has to come up quickly, Ted, to make the tackle.
And that was well executed. All right, 3rd and 10 on the 32. Paul Warfield now, sent to the left side. Your deep men are Kelly and Green. Ryan waiting for it. He takes a snap, goes back to the 25, going to throw, looks to the sidelines. He throws out there, and it's incomplete. It was for Kelly around the 45, but it's incomplete. Spider Lockhart defending on the play, and so it looks like Gary Collins will be punting for the Browns. The Giants in front, 7-0 on a 91-yard return of the opening kickoff by Clarence Childs.
Ted, here again we see the Browns trying to exploit one of the vulnerable spots the Giants showed last game. The swing pass to the halfback was being covered by the linebacker. So Frank Ryan has quickly tried to exploit the end sweep and the halfback pass, both of which worked very well for them.
Gary Collins down will be kicking from his own 17-yard line. We've got Phil Harris and Spider Lockhart, the deep end for the Giants. There's a snap from center. Here comes the boot. It's a short one coming down at about the 40-yard line, and it's bouncing back toward the Browns, and it's touched there by a Cleveland Brown. It was Clark that touched it, and they put the ball down on the 45, just short of the 45-yard line. So it's 1st and 10 for the Giants now on their own 45-yard line, and they're in front 7-0.
Ted, Allie Sherman has decided he will alternate Wood and Kennedy, not making either the starter or either the second stringer, to see how they go.
Well, Wood is in right now. Homer Jones is sent to the left side wide. Deep men are Morrison and Jacobs. There's a snap, a handoff to Jacobs, trying over the right side. He does. He pulls his way up to the 50 into Cleveland territory with about 3 Browns on him. He keeps going. Finally, Erich Barnes and Jim Kanicki bring him down. A good run, a lot of power, good second effort for Alan Jacobs, and they spot the ball down in the 48. That's the Cleveland Browns 48-yard line. And it seems that offensive line for the Giants are opening up those holes. All right, they line up again. Jones is out to the left side. 2nd and 2. Wood takes it. Handoff this time to Jacobs again, who tries the middle. He picks up about 2 yards, maybe 3. Big pile up there with Paul Wiggin, left end, and Jim Kanicki, right tackle for the Cleveland Browns to bring them down. They started on the 45. And it looks like they may have to measure this for the first down. It's that close. While they're measuring, time for a 10-second message. This is New York Giants football. And hey, friend, football and Valentine make a great combination, so don't keep pleasure waiting. You pour yourself an ice-cold glass of Valentine beer right now. It's got the flavor that says, hey, friend, do it again. Well, the Giants will have to try to do it again because they're short of a first down by just about a foot. Just about a foot, and so it's going to be Third down now with a foot to go for the first down. That ball just short of the 45-yard line. Paul Wiggin, Walt Johnson, Kinnicky, and Glass, your front four for the Cleveland Browns. And now Homer Jones is wide to the left side. Jacobs and Morrison, the deep men. It's a keep by Wood, and he hits a wall up there. I don't know whether he made it or not, but he only needed a foot. Johnson, Costello, middle linebacker, and Kinnicky.
That's
all
first
hit him,
down, Ted.
but it's good enough for the first down. So the Giants put together a series of running plays, gives them their first down. It's 1st and 10 on the Cleveland Brown 45. And they opened up this ball game with a touchdown return by Clarence Childs of 91 yards. 10 minutes and 45 to go in the first quarter. The Giants in front 7-0. And now Jones once again sent wide to the left side. Wood waiting for it. Larson snaps it back. It's a fake to one man. He's going to throw. He can't find anybody. He's running with it. The 45, the 40, the 35, the 30-yard line, the 25, and he's finally knocked down the 22-yard line. A brilliant run by Gary Wood. Mike Cowles brought him down. How about that? He couldn't find anybody open, and so he took it himself.
Ted, the Browns, typically for a Cleveland team, seem to be playing a reading defense. They're not putting a great deal of pressure. 2 or 3 of their linemen were standing on the line and watching that fake, and Gary took advantage of this to run right past them before they could move towards him. So I think the Browns may be a little quicker to move now since Gary's done that.
And down there threatening again on the 22-yard line. Jones sent wide to the left side. Morrison and Jacobs, your deep men. Woodway takes it. A handoff, this time to Jacobs again. Pulling his way down to the 10-yard line. He was hit once, but he got up off his knee and went for 2 more yards. And Mike Cowell, the right corner man, brought him down along with Mike Kellerman. And they spotted just short of the 15. Correction, the 15-yard line. With 9 minutes and 27 to go in the first quarter, the Giants, with 2nd down and 4 to go for the first down, and the ball's on the 15-yard line, just short of it. Homer Jones out to the left side again. Gary Wood, the quarterback, takes it. A handoff to Jacobs again. Morrison this time. He finds an opening, goes down to the 10-yard line. Walt Johnson finally hits him, and Jim Houston. A nice cutback by Joe Morrison.
Had a great block on that play by Bookie Bolin, who went out and took the only Cleveland man who was in a position to make the tackle, rode him to the outside, and Joe cut back nicely through the hole. Very good line play.
Well, that ball is spotted down the 9-yard line, and it's a first down for the Giants. Goal to go on the 9-yard line. And now Aaron Thomas split wide to the right side. Wood takes it, hands off to Jacobs. He pulls his way to the 5, and he's hit hard by 3 of them up front. That's Paul Wiggum, Johnson, and Kinnicky. He went to the 5, though, and he picked up 4 yards. It'll be 2nd and goal to go with the ball on the 5-yard line. The Giants in front, 7-0. 8 minutes and 21 to go in this quarter, the first quarter here at Municipal Stadium. The field surrounded by snow, in hard condition. Most of the Browns are wearing sneakers. And now the Giants threatening. Thomas to the right side. Wood takes it. Takes the handoff. He holds that ball, and he's going around the right side for a touchdown. He did it last week, and he did it again. Bootlegged that ball and came around the right side. Gary Wood to score standing up until the Giants go in front 13-0 with 8 minutes and 2 seconds to go in this first quarter, and what an upset this seems to be.
Ted, this was even more significant, the second touchdown, than Childs' long run, because it proved that Gary can take this team 50 or 60 yards with a mixture of plays and move them in for the touchdown.
He sure did. Now he's going to hold it for Gogolak, who'll be kicking with sneakers on. There's the snap. He kicked it. It's up. It's good. And so the Giants score again. They're in front 14-0 with 8 minutes to go in the first quarter and just a half a minute more National Football League action.
Inject a little adventure into your life. Be at ringside when the pucks fly. Join the arena crowd for the body-bruising excitement of RPI collegiate hockey, absolutely free. Here's how. Draw the facsimile of an RPI hockey puck on the back of a postcard. The best 10 facsimiles win 2 free tickets to the RPI Yale hockey game on Wednesday, December 7th. Mail your artistic creation to Hockey Tickets, WGY Schenectady. An impartial board of artistic hockey players will pick the winners.
minutes and 2 seconds of playing time remaining in the first quarter, and the New York Giants lead the Cleveland Browns 14-0. For those of you who have just joined us, a beautiful 90-yard run back of a kickoff by Clarence Childs set up the initial score, and then Gary Wood on a keeper scored the second touchdown of the quarter in the game, and the Giants lead 14-0. Okay, Ted.
Gogolak will be booting it from the 40 with sneakers. I keep telling you that because it's the first time he's used them. And we've got Roberts and Harrow with a deep man. There's the whistle. Here he comes. It's a wobbly boot, and it's coming down toward Roberts. He picks it up at the 10, the 15, the 20, goes to the sideline, the 25. He's hit hard and knocked down the 27-yard line. That was Ernie Coy and the kickoff team. They met head-to-head, and bam, down he went.
Ted, Ernie Coy and some of these younger players who were benched in the recent shuffle are playing on these special teams, and this is their chance to show they like to hit and get back into that starting lineup. And although Ernie's not a defensive player, he's out there trying to win back a job by knocking down a few Browns today.
Boy, he sure knocked down Roberts on that one. They just like two tanks hit. And now the Browns take over, 1st and 10 on their own 22. Ryan, the quarterback. Deep men are Kelly and Green. Ryan takes it. Fakes, going back to throw. He slips, but he finally gets it off. A long one down the middle to Collins. He's got that ball on the 30-yard line, and that's where he's hit by Henry Carr. A beautiful pattern and a marvelous catch. That was a beautiful catch by Collins.
It certainly was. He came down and in and split the two defenders, Ted, and I must say Ryan threw that ball just as he was going down under a tackle by Don Davis. It was a very fine forward pass, 40 yards in the air.
It's going to be 1st and 10 for the Browns and the Giants 30. The Giants in front 14-0 with 6 minutes and 50 to go in the first quarter. Now they break it again. Collins goes wide to the right side. They're in that double wing with 3 receivers on the left side. The deep man is Green. One man, just Green. He's deep. There's the snap. It's going to be a handoff to Green, who tries the middle and no gain on the play. Freeman White, left linebacker, Jim Moran, left tackle, and Mike Ciccolello, middle linebacker, all got together to bring him down. No gain on the play. He possibly could have lost a yard. We'll see. He did. He lost about a yard, and that's where they spotted on the 31-yard line. So it's going to be 2nd and 11 on the Giant 31. Up front, we've got Katkavich, Moran, Davis, and Condren, the front 4, with White, Ciccolello, and Smith, the linebackers, Lockhart, Harris, Carr, and Childs, your deep men. And now Collins goes wide to the right side. Your 2 deep men now. They're set. Kelly and Green. Collins out to the right. Ryan waiting for it. Long count. Hoagland passes it back. It's going to be a pass. He goes straight back. He's looking down the middle out to the left side for Roberts, but it's nearly intercepted, but incomplete. Henry Carr nearly had his hands on that one. And Clarence Childs, he was down there also. Correction, it was Childs instead of Carr.
Ted, I noticed that the Giants, while they haven't had a terrific pass rush all year, are having trouble getting back to Ryan because of the condition of the field. I don't think there's a great deal of traction, and I believe that this will hold for both defensive lines. The passers may have an extra second or two today to throw this ball.
Don, I want to get accurate calls here. That was Warfield, not Roberts, on the receiving end of that pass, but it was incomplete. And so Petrosani comes in for Ernie Green now. Green and Kelly having great years for the Browns, even though they're in contention, but they're trying for that second place spot. These two have had a great running year. All right, they're all lined up. Collins out to the right side. Petrosani and Kelly. It's going to be a pass. Ryan going back. He throws a long one. It's intercepted and into the end zone by Spider Lockhart. And there's a whistle, and it's whistle dead.
Ted, Spider had a notion to run that one out, and Henry Carr very judiciously and wisely restrained him since the Browns were coming in, and Spider might not have gotten out beyond that 5-yard line. But I see they've called this, Ted. They put the ball on the 3-yard line, and they say that Spider's momentum carried him into the end zone. It was not the momentum of the ball, so it's put on the 3 where he grabbed the ball. It's a rather unusual call, but it's a good one.
Well, I thought they'd put it out in the 20, but thanks for explaining it, because for a moment there looked like Lockhart was going to come out with it, so that's why I paused. But it's now going to be 1st and 10 for the Giants, the ball on their own 3-yard line. They're in front 14-0, 5 minutes and 38 to go in the first quarter.
Well, Ted, as I say, that was the ruling. If the player goes into the end zone under the momentum of catching or intercepting the ball, it would come to the 20. If he catches it on the 5, let's say, and takes it in on his momentum, then it has to come out to the point of the interception.
In other words, to verbally make the picture, Lockhart was going back, actually, when he caught the ball, and he caught it on the 3 and then went back into the end zone.
That's
So
correct.
they feel that it should be spotted on the 3. Well,
Allie Sherman doesn't feel that way. He's having a discussion with the officials, but I'm sure we know the outcome of that one, Ted.
I'm willing to argue a bit, but I'm just too high, tell you the truth, to walk down there on the field. A little too cold, too. It must be about 20 degrees here at Municipal Stadium. The field is in good condition. It's hard. Some of the Browns are wearing sneakers, and it's lined by snow all around. And the end zones, both end zones, still have quite a bit of snow in them.
This will be a key decision, Ted. Young Gary Wood must now start his backs driving towards the line from a snowy footing. This might be hard for them to get up into that line of scrimmage. We might see him throw this ball here.
Okay, Don, they're all set down there. Wood brings him up to the line of scrimmage. Both teams lined up. There's a snap. It's a quick handoff to Morrison. He tries to find running room. Gets short of the 5-yard line. He's hit hard by Jim Kinnicky and Walt Johnson. They put the ball down on the 5. Just short of the 5. So it's going to be second down and 8. And the ball is on the, we'll call it the 5-yard line. Paul Wiggin, left end. Walt Johnson, left tackle. Jim Kinnicky, right tackle. And Bill Glass, right end for the front 4 for the Browns. And now Jones is out to the left side. There's a snap. He's going to throw. He throws to Jones on the sideline, but in and out of his head. At about the 12-yard line. Incomplete. It'll be 3rd and 8, still on the 5. The Giants in front, 14-0. 5 minutes to go in the first quarter.
Here again, Ted, it's a tough call for Gary, because if he doesn't move this ball out a little farther, it means that Ernie Coy will be punting from that very slippery footing deep in the end zone. I'm sure Gary would like to get out to that 10 or 12 anyway to give Ernie a little better traction if he has to punt.
Any ideas about the call, the play?
Well, I believe he'll throw the ball. I'm sure of that, unless it's a draw, Ted.
Aaron Thomas out to the right side. It's going to be a pass. He's back in his end zone. He may finally get rid of it. Oh, nearly intercepted by big Jim Kinnicky, who was standing on the 1-yard line. He could have just taken one step and gone in.
That's why Kinnicky's playing defense, Ted. He has very bad hands.
And Bill Glass put a big rush on Gary Wood to force him to get rid of that ball. Gary holding on to it to the last second and finally got rid of it, but deflected. 4th down punting situation, as Don mentioned earlier. Why, Ernie Coy will have to punt back in the end zone, and that's still covered with snow at the slippery spot. The deep men for the Browns standing in Giant territory, Kelly and Roberts, 2 very fast men, just short of the 50. Coy just about 2 yards in from the back stripe. All right, there's a snap. Here comes the kick. It's a wobbly one. Coming down to the 35-yard line, bouncing out about the 38, the 40, and rolls up to the 45, and that's where it's whistled. It's 1st and 10 for the Browns on the Giant 45-yard line. Giants in front, 14-0, with 4 minutes and 43 to go in the first quarter.
Ted, Blanton Collier told us earlier this week that he was afraid his team might be a little flat after its great effort against Dallas, and he was worried about getting these boys up, and so far it looks that way.
Don, 1st and 10 now on the 45. Collins out to the right side. Deep men are Kelly and Green. There's a handoff, this time to Green. He tries the right side, but he doesn't go far. He picks up just 2 yards, and Don Davis, rookie, right tackle, and Jim Moran, left tackle, along with Mike Ciccolello, combined 3 ways to bring him down.
Ted, this is what the defense we mentioned earlier. Jim Cabbage is playing wide at the end, and when the man cuts inside him, Freeman White, the linebacker, comes into that gap and makes the tackle.
It's going to be second now with 9 to go, and that ball is on the 44-yard line. The Browns break it again. Warfield this time just beneath us, split wide to the left side. Collins to the right side. Ryan takes it, fakes to one man, throws out to Kelly, incomplete. Intended for Kelly, overthrown with Freeman White. Rookie, star of Nebraska last year, and with the Giants for the first time this year, and playing left linebacker for the first time. He's been playing it for the last 2 games. is doing a good job, don't you think, Don?
He certainly is, Ted. He's learning to recognize some of the patterns now, the offensive formations, and learn the areas to drop on those passing situations, and that was a good example. He was right on his man where he should have been.
Well, Warfield now is sent to the left side, just beneath us again. He's split wide. Collins split also on the right side. Ryan waiting for it. He takes it. He's going back to pass again. He's looking out to the right side. He can't find anybody. He may run with it. He does. And he slips, then falls on the 45-yard line. Don Davis, I think, just got his foot as he went by and tripped him up. And once again, this is a fourth down situation for the Cleveland Browns with the Giants in front 14-0. 3 minutes and 22 to go in the first quarter. Michael Lockhart and Phil Harris will be the deep men for the Giants. They're coming back now around the 10-yard line. Gary Collins will be punting from about his own 41-yard line. Now he's still moving back to the 40. Both teams lined up, waiting. There's the snap. A good one from center. Here comes the kick. It's a low one, wobbly. Harris takes it on the 15. Falls, gets up, and he's hit once again, and that's where he stopped. Just about the 18-yard line. Williams, a linebacker, and on that punting team came in to knock him down. And so the Giants take over, 1st and 10. And the ball is on the 18-yard line, their own 18. They're in front 14-0. 2 minutes and 54 to go in the first quarter. And this is a surprise, and I'm sure a lot of folks are listening and saying, I don't believe it, but it's the truth. An opening 91-yard return of a kickoff by Childs, and then a keep by Gary Wood set up both of the scores. All right, both teams ready. Wood takes it, goes back. It's a draw play to Jacobs. He fumbles and picks up his own fumble and tries to go, but he's hit back on the 10-yard line. Paul Wiggin hit him. A draw play to Jacobs. He was hit hard, fumbled, and then recovered his own fumble back on the 10.
Ted, now we're seeing, as I pointed out a little while ago, a little more pressure defense by the Browns. They're not reading as much on that line. They're starting to force a little bit, and I believe Gary may not find the success now with these quick openers that he had on the opening drive.
I think you're right, because you can see the difference in that front four of the Cleveland Browns. It's going to be 2nd and 18 now on the 10-yard line. Homer Jones out to the left side wide. Aaron Thomas just beneath us on the right side. A fake to one man. He's going to throw. He goes back. He's looking. He throws a long one for Morrison down the sideline. And it looked like, no, I won't call it. Jim Houston covered on that. Incomplete.
Ted, there was a little bit of bumping and bouncing there, jostling, but of course the official was right there, and in his opinion, if it does not affect the pattern of the play, they won't call it. So apparently he thought it was a harmless bumping into each other there.
A man going down the sidelines like that, defensively, you can keep bumping him with your shoulder until he makes an attempt to go after that ball.
Well, until the ball is in the air, Ted, yes.
Danny Lewis comes in for Joe Morrison now. Joe ran that long pattern, and he's off to the sideline, taking a little rest. Homer Jones out to the left side. It's 3rd and 18 on the 10. Wood takes it, goes back, rolls out to the left. He's going to throw. He finally throws a long one. This is for Aaron Thomas at the 45. Oh, incomplete. Incomplete. In and out of his hands. Erich Barnes defending on it. He had to slow up and wait for that ball. It was a long one. Let's pause 10 seconds now for station identification. This is New York Giants Radio Network.
This is WGY 810 on your dial in Schenectady, New York.
Back at Municipal Stadium, the Giants in front, 14-0 with 1 minute and 39 to go in the first quarter. And now Ernie Coy will be punting again from his own end zone, a snowy end zone, slippery, with Kelly and Roberts back around the midfield stripe, waiting for the punt. Larson lets it go. It's a beautiful snap from center. Here comes the kick, a short one out to the side, and it hits the flag on the play back on the 10. It hits on the 45-yard line. That's where the ball is whistled dead, but there's a flag back at the 10-yard line and one at the 20. And we don't know what the call is yet, but we'll let you know the moment we see.
We have one score to report, Ted. In the first period, Pittsburgh 7, Philadelphia 3. The other games, particularly that one between Dallas and St. Louis, we have no scoring report on yet.
That looked like a backfield motion against the Giants and refused by the Browns. It was a short kick, and so they'll take over 1st and 10 on their own 45-yard line. Correction, Giant 45. First and 10 for the Browns on the Giant 45-yard line. And they trail 14-0 with 1:29 to go in the first quarter. Up front, Katkavich, Moran, Davis, and Condren for the Giants. But now the Browns break it. Collins goes out to the right side. Deep men, Kelly and Green. Ryan takes it. Hands off to Kelly. Busts up the middle. He gets yardage up over the 40, down to the 38-yard line. And Mike Ciccolello, rookie linebacker with Katkavich and Moran, get together to bring him down, along with Freeman White, who gets up off the bottom of that pile. But a good gain on the play. Good enough for that first down, looked like.
It appears that it's shy by about 3. That's correct.
It's going to be 2nd and 2. 2nd and 2, and the ball's on the 37-yard line. Now Collins goes wide to the right side. Ryan waiting, takes it. Hands off to Green again. He finds room. He's cleared the 30, 25 to 20. He may go all the way to 10, to 5, and they right at the flag. That's where they call it. He was finally hit there by Henry Carr, just short of the goal line. Knocked the flag over, and the officials call it about, I'd say, 1 foot inside that goal line. We'll see where they put it down. That's right. Less than the length of that football inside that goal line. Now they got a 5-man line for the Giants. Katkavich, Moran, Prestel, Davis, and Condren. All right, your big men for the Browns, Kelly and Green. Ryan waits. It's on the 1-foot line. He takes it. Hands off to Kelly. He goes up and in and over. Okay, that's a touchdown for the Browns. A big pile up, but he made it. He only had to pick up a foot, and he did. And so the Browns score 42 seconds to go in the first quarter.
Ted, there we saw the Browns taking advantage of the Giant defense with the Giants' left linebacker, Freeman White, coming to the inside. Kelly moved that direction, then cut to the outside, and there was no one out there to stop him in the initial 15 yards of his run.
That, incidentally, is his 13th touchdown, his 12th gained rushing.
Luke Groza will attempt the extra point. Here's the snap. The kick. Nearly blocked, but it's up, and it is good.
There's a flag on the play down there, Ted, I believe, down on the 2.
A flag on the play on the 2. Freeman White came in very fast there and just about blocked that ball. That infraction was against the Giants, and it was refused by the Cleveland Browns.
Again, the only scoring report we have is the one between Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. The Steelers are leading the Eagles 7-3, and this ball club from Pittsburgh is the team that we meet next week, and one that has come along very nicely during the course of the season. Next week at Yankee Stadium, the Giants and the Steelers. It's the only score we have. Pittsburgh 7, Philadelphia 3, first period.
Phil Harris and Clarence Childs will be deep for the Giants to take this kickoff from Luke Groza, and you know what Childs did on the opening kickoff. He went 91 yards for a score. And then Gary Wood took that team just about the length of the field, and finally on a keeper went in himself. And the Browns have just scored. Now here comes the whistle. Groza's coming up to that ball, and he boots it. This time it's out to Childs at the 10-yard line. 15 to 20, cuts toward the middle, 30-yard line, 35 to 40, and he's finally brought down. Man, when he accelerates, he puts on that speed and goes.
I think there's a penalty down there on the field. There's an indication of grabbing the face mask. Is that correct, Don?
That's what it was. The official signaled grabbing the face mask. Apparently on the tackle of Childs, the Browns used the face mask, and there it is, a 15-yard advance for the Giants.
And by the way, on the kickoff, Harris and Childs lined up with Childs on the left side, and Harris on the left side, Childs on the right. And just as Groza was approaching that ball, they switched. And Groza, of course, thought he was going to kick it to Harris, but there was Childs waiting for it. Now it's 1st and 10 for the Giants. And they're in Brown territory on the 44. Gary Wood, quarterbacking, takes it. Hands off, this time to Morrison. Tries up the middle, goes over the 40 to about the 39-yard line. Paul Wiggum, Walt Johnson bring him down. Joe Morrison really is a remarkable ball player. He has played so many positions, and you know, you put him in a halfback spot here, and he cuts like he's been doing it all his life.
Well, Ted, he does have a great feel for it, the flow of the defense, the movement of his interference. He doesn't have the great power or the speed, but he does have that instinctive feel for running.
And now the Giants line up, but there goes the gun. It ends the first quarter with the Giants in front 14-7. Let's pause a minute now. This is New York Giants football. And now here's a message from Volvo. Back at Municipal Stadium, Woody Erdman, Don Smith, and Ted Brown, along with Dick Boyce. And we're bringing you the play-by-play. The Giants in front 14-7, the start of the second quarter. And now it's 2nd and 5 on the 39. Gary Wood takes it. Hands off to Jacobs. Up the middle. Goes to the 35-yard line. Still pushing, but he's finally stopped there. Bill Glass right in. 6'5" and 255 with John Brewer. That right linebacker brought him down.
Had a very good move there by young Willie Young, who drove his man back and threw a cross-body block on him and gave Jacobs the room to squeeze through there for that 4-yard or 5-yard gain.
It's kind of close. They're bringing out the chains down to measure to see if it is a first down. It's resting on the 34-yard line.
Looks like it's an inch or so short, Ted.
Just about an inch. And so the Giants with a third down coming up and 1 inch for the first down. Gary Wood went off to the sideline, talked to Allie Sherman.
Ted, Gary has to worry about a sneak here because the Browns have been putting a big man right on the head of the center, making it difficult for the quarterback to sneak, so he may not be able to use that move.
Aaron Thomas is sent to the wide to the right side. Both teams are lined up. Wood takes it. Hands off to Morrison. He gets the first down and more. He jumps over one Brown to do it. First down for the Giants, and they'll spot that ball down on the 32-yard line, maybe the 31.
Ted, this is a key drive for the Giants because they did catch the Browns flat and cold early in this ball game, and the Browns have readjusted on defense now, and this is a good test for the Giants. Can they move it now after the initial surprise of that first period is over?
It's going to be 1st and 10 down on the 32-yard line. Aaron Thomas flanked out to the right side. Morrison and Jacobs, your deep men. Wood takes it. Hands off to Morrison. He finds room up the middle. Goes over the 30 to the 28-yard line. And finally, Jim Kinnicky and Vince Costello team up to bring him down. They're opening up those holes, and the offensive line is getting up on that ball. A good game by Joe Morrison. And they spot that ball down on the 28.
See, Ted, an Ernie Green or a Leroy Kelly would turn that same kind of a hole into a 12, 15-yard gain. Joe just doesn't have that acceleration there when he gets through.
Well, he picked up 4, 2nd and 6 in the 28. Now they line up again with Thomas out to the right side. Wood waits for Larson to give it to him. He does. This time, once again, to Morrison. He slips, but then gets himself up and goes over the 25 to about the 23-yard line. Paul Wiggum and Jim Kinnicky, left end and right tackle, bring him down. Let's see where his forward motion was stopped. Just the other side of the 25. So he picked up 3. It'll be 3rd and about 3 yards. And the ball is placed down just on the other side of the 25-yard line. We've got Homer Jones left end, Bob Crispino tight end, Thomas your flanker with Morrison and Jacobs the deep men. And that's how they line up with Thomas flanked out to the right side. Wood waiting, takes it, hands up to Jacobs. He hits a wall, bounces off, and still goes off to his right and picks up some yardage. A good second effort. Jim Kinnicky and Jim Houston bring him down. And where are they going to put it? On the 22-yard line. And so he picked up 3, and it could be enough for the first down.
I think the indication is it is, Ted.
It is. And so the Giants pick up the first down, an important one. They're deep in Cleveland Brown territory, and they're in front 14-7.
Ted, what Gary Wood has done now by running for 2 first downs is to set himself up for a nice pass here off a play-action fake if he chooses to do so.
Well, let's see if you're right. They line up with Thomas out to the right side. Jones tight on the left. He looks right and left, takes it. Hands off this time to Jacobs. He finds room, goes over the 20, down to the 17-yard line. Vince Costello brings him down. Jacobs, who got his first shot at this at the last ball game, or was it 2 games ago?
2 games ago was his first real chance. He's come on very well, Ted. He's a boy who needed to play to get a little confidence. And here again, like Morrison, he doesn't have great speed or size, but he's a good plugger with that fine second effort. Those legs keep moving all the time and get the extra yardage.
And he picked up 6 yards, a little more than 5, in between 5 and 6, so it's 2nd and 4 on the 16. And now Thomas flanked out to the right, wide. Wood waiting. Larson gives it to him. He fakes the handoff and keeps it, goes to 10, down to the 5. He may go all the way. He does. A beautiful run. What a run by Gary Wood. That was a beauty.
Ted, this is what I just mentioned without the pass, but he used the running fake to the runners and then slid outside there while the Browns were bunching up in the middle.
How about that? He faked like he picked his arm like he was going to throw it, then took off to the right, cut back to the left, got behind one blocker, and went in standing up. Well, the Giants are putting it all together this afternoon here at Municipal Stadium. And now Gogolak will try it. Wood will hold. There's the pass. He puts it down. He kicks it. It's up. It's good. 10 minutes and 59 to go in the first half. The Giants 21, the Browns 7, in just 60 seconds more National Football League action.
WGY is your sports station. WGY microphones are there for the major sporting events that you want to listen to. This fall, you heard the World Series on WGY. You also heard the full schedule of the glorious New York Mets. During the autumn football months, WGY carried the entire season of Syracuse football. From the NFL, WGY broadcasts all the games of the New York Giants. The RPI hockey season began November 19th. WGY is broadcasting every exciting game of the 1966 RPI hockey schedule. Paul Midgehall, former RPI Hockey All-American, describes the play-by-play action for our WGY microphones. During the winter months, beginning early in December, WGY will present Ski Trails, a series of programs devoted to skiing and ski reports. Around New Year's, WGY will bring you the bowl games. Each weekday night at 5:45, Bill Carpenter comes your way with sports news and commentary on Sports Spotlight. Howard Tupper hosts Let's Talk Bowling every Thursday at 6:35. Can there be any doubt? WGY is your sports station.
Ted Brown. And here comes the kickoff. Gogolak boots it. Down there on the 5-yard line to Kelly. He takes it, holding up ball with one hand to 10, to 20, and he's hit by two Giants, 3, and he's knocked down. With Freeman White, along with Jeff Smith doing the job.
There again, Ted, we see those young Giants, the rookies, the big, strong boys who haven't really established themselves, but they're the ones that are making this contact on these suicide squads, as they're called, and this is what's going to show Allie Sherman what they can do.
Up front for the Giants, we have Katkavich, Moran, Davis, and Condren. With Freeman, White, Ciccolello, and Smith, all rookie linebackers. And now the Browns trailing 21-7. Warfield goes out to the left side. Kelly and Green, your deep men. Frank Ryan, the quarterback, takes it. Takes to one man, goes back to the 15 to throw. Goes in the pocket. He throws a short one out to Gary Collins on the 30, the 35, the 40. Cuts into the 50-yard line. That's where he's hit, at the midfield stripe. With Henry Carr making the tackle. Gary Collins, who looked like the safety valve man, and he flipped a short one out to him to the right side. He went down the sideline.
That's what he was, Ted. He stayed on the line of scrimmage. Spider Lockhart watched him for a moment, decided he wasn't going, so Spider dropped back, and as soon as he did, Collins was there by himself to take that short pass.
And the ball's on the midfield stripe, 1st and 10 for the Cleveland Browns on the 50, just over the 50 by a foot. Now Warfield goes to the left side. Gary Collins just beneath us, flips to the right. Ryan waiting, takes it. He's going to throw again out to Collins, and he's knocked out of bounds on the 45. A quick sideline pass. Spider Lockhart defending on the play. Picked up 5. It'll be 2nd and 5 on the Giant 45.
Ted, we have a scoring report on the Green Bay-San Francisco game. The Packers, after their 10th victory in the first period, leads the 49ers 7-0.
And
No scoring report, by the way, yet on the St. Louis-Dallas game. Okay, Ted.
In case you folks didn't hear, the Giants are in front 21-7 with 9:33 to go in the first half. And now the Browns line up. Warfield out to the left side. There's a snap. A handoff to Kelly. He tries to hit the middle. Off the left side, though, and he's stopped over the 43-yard line. That's where he's knocked down. Jeff Smith, Jim Moran, Glenn Condren combined to do it. He picked up 2 yards in the play, and so it's going to be 3rd and 3 on the 42. 43, correction. 3rd and 3. Big 3rd and 3 for the Browns. We'll try to get the quarterback club in if the Giants get inside that 40 again. All right, here they go. Warfield out to the left side, Collins to the right, both wide. It's going to be a pass. He's going back. He's looking out to the left. He throws over the middle. It's complete there. A Brown has it on the 20. Kelly goes to 10, the 5, and he's knocked down the 2-yard line. Final Lockhart finally knocked him down. Kelly, who paused and then came just across the middle, took that on the fly and cut down the middle of that field and went down to the 3-yard line.
Ted, that was the inexperience again of the Giant rookie linebackers. Freeman White, the linebacker on that side, dropped out into the flat, and Kelly cut to the inside, and White was just clearly out of position. That's inexperience, and the Giants will have to live with it until these boys learn to play that tough corner spot.
Well, down it's 1st and goal to go on the 3-yard line. The linebackers are just on dry territory, but that's about all. Warfield out to the left side, wide. Ryan waiting, Kelly and Green deep. He's going to throw over the middle. Touchdown to Collins. Right to Lockhart. Very bad footing in the end zone. It's all snow there. But a touchdown for the Browns. A quick pass over the middle to Gary Collins, who's having a sensational year for the Browns.
Ted, this is the kind of play the Browns can use successfully because they have two great runners. And the percentage there is 99-1 to run those two fellows in for those 2 yards. So when you have those boys running, you can do a lot with the short pass that way.
It's kind of a gutsy call by Ryan, too. All right, here we go. Groza will try for the extra point. It's down. He kicks it. It's up. And it was just touched by Freeman White again, but it just had enough to go over. And it's good. With 7 minutes and 54 to go in the first half, the Giants are in front now, 21-14. And now let's pause briefly. Here's a message from Valentine.
Hey, friend, how long since you've had a Ballantine? An ice-cold Ballantine beer. If you're not drinking today's Ballantine, you're missing plenty. Today's Ballantine, big and bright, crisp and light. Today's Ballantine beer is the greatest ever. Tastes so smooth and easy going down. Pour yourself a Ballantine right now. Just one glass will convince you Valentine's got the flavor that says, hey, friend, do it again, Ballantine beer. If you have just tuned in, the New York Giants are leading the Cleveland Browns 21-14. We have 7 minutes and 54 seconds of playing time remaining in the first half. Gary Collins just scored that last touchdown for the Browns. It is his 9th touchdown pass reception of the year and gives him for the season 54 points. 21-14. The Browns trailing the New York Giants. Groza will kick off. Here again, Ted Brown.
Thank you, Woody. Clarence Childs and Harris are standing back on the 5. We'll see if he switches. Here comes the kick. No switch. It's kicked out to Harris at the 2-yard line. He takes it there. The 5, the 10, up the middle of the 15, coming to the 25, and he's hit hard. Still on his feet at the 28-yard line. And that was Galen Fisk that did a job on him, a hard tackle. You've got these men running down at each other at top speed, and boy, when they hit, you can hear it up here. 1st and 10 for the Giants, and the ball's placed down on their own 28-yard line. They're in front 21-14 with 7 minutes and 30 to go in the first half.
We have a first period score, Baltimore 7, Chicago nothing.
Now the Giants come out with Gary Wood, the quarterback. Thomas is out to the right side. Deep men are Morrison and Jacob. It's going to be a pass. He's going back to the 20. He's looking. He can't find anybody. He slips once. He's hit back there and finally knocked down. Lost in the play back on the 22-yard line. Frank Parker with a big rush on. The footing not too good. Gary cocked his arm, slipped a little, tried to get away, couldn't, and was finally hit. And they spot it down on the 23-yard line.
Ted, it's a very cold day, as you well know, and I don't believe either one of these passers can get a real good grip on the ball. So they're going to think twice before letting the ball go unless there's a man really open, because this is the kind of weather you get a lot of interceptions.
It's 2nd now and 15 on the 23. Lost 5 on the play. Thomas out to the right side. There's a snap. Going to be another pass. He's going back to the 15. A swing pass out to the 20-yard line. Jacobs out to the 25, the 30. Hit once, gets away, and goes over to the 35-yard line, the 36, and that's where the whistle stops. He's hit hard by John Brewer and Jim Houston, the 2 outside linebackers.
That's going to be about 2 yards short of a first down. Ted, a nice recovery.
And a good second effort again by Alan Jacobs.
Yes, he catches the ball very well for a fullback, Ted, and when he gets it outside, he can make that move up the field.
Well, we'll see what it's going to be. 3rd and 2, a big 3rd down for the Giants. The ball back now on the 36-yard line. All right, they line up with Thomas out to the right side. Jones on the left. Morrison and Jacobs. There it is. A fake handoff. He's going to throw. He's back. He throws down the middle. Morrison has him the 45, the 50, on his feet at the 45 in Cleveland Brown territory, and he's knocked down at the 43. Another second effort, too, by Joe Morrison. He caught that ball back on the 49 and went over into Cleveland Brown territory. First down for the Giants.
That was a nice catch by Morrison. He was fully extended, Don.
That's right. Of course, Woody, he's such a fine receiver. And again, when he's playing the backfield and he comes out of there, he's being covered by a linebacker, not a halfback. And Gary took advantage of that very nicely.
Gary Wood putting together some really great series for the Giants here. First and 10 for the Giants in the 43. Danny Lewis in for Morrison. Deep Leonard, Jacobson, Lewis. He takes it. A handoff to Jacobs. Tries the middle. He flies over the 40-yard line to the 39. And that's where a big pile-up with Paul Wiggum and Vince Costello, along with Walt Johnson, the right tackle, make it and bring him down on the 39. So he picked up 4 yards in the play. It'll be 2nd and 6 on the 39.
Well, Ted, we have plenty of time for another score here. 5 minutes and 7 seconds remaining in the first half.
Paul Wiggum, left end for the Cleveland Browns, made that last tackle. Now Thomas is sent wide to the right side. A handoff, this time to Jacobs up the middle, pulling his way for 2-3 yards to the 35-yard line. He's looking to pick up 4. His forward motion stopped just short of the 35. Walt Johnson made that tackle, and he is the left tackle for the Browns, 6'4" and 270.
Time for a 10-second message. This is New York Giants football. The big Commodore Hotel in New York has little weekend rates for as little as $5.75 per person daily, 4 to a room, 1, 2, or 3 nights. It's a giant buy. Write for full information for exciting weekend plans. The Commodore Hotel, New York City.
Get a quarterback club ready soon.
Okay,
right.
Ted.
3rd and 3 on the 36. It's going to be a pass. He goes back to the 45. He throws over the middle. Morrison has it at about the 33-yard line. And there he's hit by Jim Houston, the left linebacker. And that's going to be kind of close. That's going to be real close. But it seems to be lined up just where I'm sitting, and I say it's a first down by inches.
I think you're right, Ted.
Blanton Collier thinks you're wrong, Ted, but we'll see in a moment.
All right. It just happens that it's just where lined up with my vision, my position here, and we'll see. I say it's just by inches. Any portion of that ball, right?
Right.
And it's the funny thing. That's why he's coaching and I'm not. Just short by inches.
Correct. I think that's the first down. Is that correct? That's the first down.
Oh, good.
That's why you're not coaching.
That's why I'm not coaching. My apologies. The Giants in front, 21-14. And a first down for the Giants now, and that ball is on the 33-yard line. Gary Wood, Don, I think, is really putting his best game together here this afternoon. The Giants are playing their best game for that matter.
They certainly are. You know, Ted, most of these young fellows have felt they can win. Things have been going so badly. Luckily, they have not lost their enthusiasm. They're really trying to show the New York fans, their fans have been very loyal, that they can put together a good game. And win or lose, this has to be a very fine effort against a good football team here in Cleveland.
On the sidelines, Don, I see that Tom Kennedy is warming up. I imagine that's, with the weather the way it is, he keeps himself warm just in case anything happens.
Well, that's Allie's plan. I believe he doesn't want to let either one of these boys go the distance. He feels that they don't have the experience, and it might be just the thing to give Gary a little rest here and let the other boy come in and change that pace a little bit.
1st and 10 for the Giants on the Cleveland Brown 33-yard line. Get a quarterback club ready and we'll go.
All right.
All right, Gary Wood, the quarterback now. Thomas out to the right side. Deep Leonard, Jacobson, Morrison. Jones to the left. A fake to one man. He's going to throw. He's back there. He's looking over the middle. Along with the Morrison. Touchdown! What a catch in between 2 Cleveland Browns. He took it right out of their hands.
Well, that was a beautiful catch, and as you mentioned, and it was an over-the-shoulder catch, Ted. He, again, was extended and pulled it in. He was covered.
John Brewer and Mike Howell, both on him. It looked like they were the 3 of them all together. Over his shoulder, as Woody mentioned, and he just took it out of both of them. A magnificent catch by Joe Morris.
Ted, you see what they've done? Instead of letting the linebacker cover him by himself, Brewer, they also double up with the defensive back on him coming out, and it still wasn't enough. Mike Howell was there to help.
3:51 to go in the half, and now Gogolak will try for the extra point, wearing sneakers. Wood holds. There's a snap. He puts it down. It's not bad. It is. There's no signal yet. Yes, it's good. There it is. Up go the hands.
There's a flag on the play, but I believe it was a Cleveland offside. So it was Mike Kellerman that had moved off for Cleveland.
Naturally, the Giants refused it, and so they put 7 more up on the scoreboard. 3:51 to go in the half. The Giants in front, 28-14, on a really remarkable catch by Joe Morrison. I tell you, he is something. Let's pause briefly now. In just a half a minute more National Football League action.
To every man who is likely to get into a discussion over pro football, WGY is giving away argument stoppers. That's right. WGY is giving away a fact book of the 1966 pro football season with statistics, players, records, and the hard facts on whatever you're likely to disagree about. It's a 128-page paperback book, a $1 value, absolutely free. Write for your pro football fact book. Write Argument Stopper, WGY, Box A, Schenectady. It'll make you practically invincible.
Here comes the kickoff. Gogolak kicks a low one, a real soccer kick. Taken on a 10 by Roberts. 15, the 20. Goes toward the sideline. The 25, and he slipped at the 30-yard line. Nobody touched him. He just slipped when he tried to cut. And finally, Coy sort of bent over to make sure he doesn't roll forward. 1st and 10 for the Browns on their own 30. The Giants in front, 28-14, with 3:40 to go in the first half.
Second period score, Pittsburgh 10, the Eagles 10. First period, Baltimore 7, Chicago nothing. First quarter, Green Bay 7, San Francisco nothing.
And now the Browns line up with Warfield. They're in that double wing, 3 receivers on the left side. Single man is Kelly. He takes it, and he pulls his way up over the 30, close to the 26-yard line. Correction, the 36. 34-yard line, that's where he's brought down. He picked up 4 yards in the play, so it's second now and 6 on the 34.
Ted, it's a shame that the Giant defense has given up 2 or 3 of these big, long plays to Collins after the Giant scores here. The offense has done so well, and now I think we need a good stiff stand here by the Giant defense to cool off this Cleveland attack.
And that defense is Katkavich, Moran, Davis, and Condren up front. The Browns line up, 2nd and 4. A fake pitch out, a throw over the middle to Collins, intercepted by Lockhart on the 45, the 40, and he's finally pulled down on the 35-yard line by Ernie Green. And there's a few fists flying down on the field. Well, the Giants are playing heads-up football. That was a short pass over the middle after faking to one of his deep men, Gary Collins. It was a stretch attempt for Collins. He couldn't touch that ball. He just deflected it, and Lockhart picked it out of the air, ran it back to the 35-yard line. And now the Giants in Cleveland Brown territory, 1st and 10 on the Brown 35. Thomas out to the right side. Deep men are Jacobs and Morrison. Wood takes it. Hands off to Jacobs. He comes around to the 30. On his feet to 25. Knocked out of bounds at 27-yard, 22-yard line.
Ted, I believe we'll see the quarterback here with instructions to keep this ball on the ground, try and get into at least good field goal position with such little time left. I don't think we'll see that ball thrown too much. Allie would like to get at least 3 out of this very deep penetration here.
It's going to be 1st and 10 on the 22. Aaron Thomas sent wide to the right. Morrison and Jacobs, the big men. Wood waiting. Larson snaps it back, gives off to Morrison, tries to make the turn. He's caught back there on the 25-yard line, and Paul Wiggin knocked him for a loss, a 3-yard loss, so it's going to be 2nd and 13 on the 25. And let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the New York Giants Radio Network.
Your dial in Schenectady, New York. This is WGY Schenectady, New York.
Municipal Stadium in Cleveland. The New York Giants are leading the Cleveland Browns 28-14. We have 2 minutes of playing time remaining. Along with Ted Brown and Don Smith, this is Woody Erdman. Let's take a look at some of the other scores in games being played in the National Football League. In the second quarter, Pittsburgh 13, the Philadelphia Eagles 13. In the first period, Baltimore leads Chicago 7-0. And also in the first period, Green Bay 7, San Francisco 0. St. Louis and Dallas will be playing the late game of the day, and it will follow almost immediately this game between New York and Cleveland. Atlanta meets Minnesota, and Detroit, Los Angeles. Those are the games that are taking place in the National Football League. The ball is on the 25-yard line, and it is right now a 2nd and 13 situation for the New York Giants. 2nd and 13 on the Browns' 25. The Giants in possession, leading 28-14. 2 minutes of playing time remaining in the first half. Okay, Ted.
And the Giants have scored 14 in the first period, so far 14 in the second period, and now they've regained possession on an interception by Spider Lockhart. 2nd and 13 on the Brown 25. Line up, there it is, a handoff, this time to Jacobs. Up the middle, goes just short of the 20-yard line. And a big pile up with Dale Lindsey, who came in for Vince Costello, middle linebacker for the Browns, made that tackle to stop him. They put the ball down the 21.
Again, Ted, I don't believe that we're going to risk putting this ball in the air. The Browns have a very good secondary, and I think that Allie will probably send in instructions to run it once more and then bring in Gogolak and get at least 3 out of this drive.
And get ready with the quarterback club if we need it, Woody. It's 3rd and 9, the 21. Thomas out to the right side. Gary Wood, the quarterback, calling it, takes it from center. A draw play up the middle to Morrison to the 20, the 18-yard line. And he's hit hard by Dale Lindsey, and Walt Johnson picked up 3 in the play, so it's going to be a 4th down. 6 to go for the first down. And that ball's just on the 18-yard line, a little over. Let's try a quarterback. Give him a shot.
Well, actually, this is a 4th down situation, and Gogolak is on the field, Ted.
So we can't do it now, but we'll try to get it in a little later. I'm sure the Giants will be in scoring territory again in this ball game. Gogolak will attempt this from the 26-yard line. Both teams lined up. Here's the kick. It's up. And it's good. The clock reached 43 seconds, and the Giants now go ahead 31-14 here at Municipal Stadium.
Time for a 10-second message. This is New York Giants football. Hey, friend, know why more fans are rooting for new Ballantine draft beer in bottles and cans? Well, it's because Ballantine Draft gives you draft beer flavor that really rings true. Ballantine Draft, that's the one, Ballantine Draft. Cleveland's Municipal Stadium, 43 seconds of playing time remaining in the first half of this game between the Cleveland Browns and the New York Giants. The Giants will now kick off to the Browns. They're leading 31-14. That's correct. The Giants 31, the Cleveland Browns 14. 2 more games remain on the schedule. Pittsburgh next week and Dallas the concluding week. Gogolak set now to kick off to the Browns. Okay, Ted.
And we've got Kelly and Roberts, the deep men. There's the whistle. Gogolak coming up to it. He kicks it. And looks like Kelly takes it on the 7-yard line. Up the middle, the 15 to 20, the 25 to 30, the 35. And he's caught on the 40-yard line. An ankle tackle. That was Menifee, number 33. Menifee made that tackle. In on the kickoff team. The Browns will take over with 37 seconds in the first half remaining, and they trail 31-14. 1st and 10 on their own 41-yard line. Now they go to the double wing. Single deep man is Kelly. It's going to be a pass. He's going back. A swing pass out to the left side. Green has that ball, the 35, 45, the 50-yard line. And that's where he's knocked out of bounds at the 50. Clarence Childs pushed him to make sure he goes. And the clock stops with 20 seconds to go in the first half. The ball just on the midfield stripe.
Well, Ted, Don, I guess this is a procedure. They'll allow the small games with 20 seconds remaining on the clock and play against the deep one.
That's right. I don't believe Cleveland's going for a field goal, so that all they have to do is protect against that long bomb.
The ball on the 50-yard line, and 20 seconds to go in the first half. All right, the Browns line up again, the double wing, 3 receivers on the right side. It's going to be a pass again. He goes back. He's looking out to the right. He's hit hard, knocked down for a loss to 41. Glenn Condren led the drive. And Jim Moran gets up off that pile.
Well, time has been called, and obviously the Browns are trying to take advantage of every second, Ted. We'll take a look at the scoreboard. Pittsburgh 13, Philadelphia 13, second quarter. Second period, Green Bay 7, San Francisco nothing. Second quarter, Baltimore 7, Chicago nothing.
It's going to be 2nd and 19 on the 41. And we've got just about 15 seconds to go here. in the first half. Jerry Hillebrand comes in at left linebacker for Freeman White. And so you've got Hillebrand, Ciccolello in the middle, and Jeff Smith on the right side. Up front, the front four, Katkavich, Moran, Davis, and Condren. Now the Browns with 15 seconds to go in the first half, and they trail 31-14. Ryan brings them up. Takes the snap from center, goes back. He's looking to throw. He does, over the middle. Nearly intercepted by Hillebrand, who dropped back, saw that play forming, and just got his hand on that ball, but couldn't hold on to it. Deflected it. It was intended for number 41, Smith, who came in for in the tight end spot. He's been in since the opening kickoff.
Ted, Frank Ryan is having a tough time of it down there. Don, they're really putting a rush on him. And that last time, that's the first time I've seen him get up as slowly as he did.
The clock reached 10 seconds left in the half, and Collins will be booting from back on his own.
The Giants are not
21.
They're not going to cover this, Ted.
They're not going to cover
it. Take a chance on a fumble on the.
And it's a bad pass from center. He gets it off, and there's a flag on the play. It looked like Collins was hit. He's getting up now, is limping off.
Now, the reason roughing the kicker was not called, Ted, is because he had a bad pass from center, had to scoop the ball up. It was almost like a run, so he was fair game in the act of kicking.
I think perhaps of greatest concern is the fact that Collins is limping off the field, and there's a great deal of concern being shown down on the sideline, Ted.
Jim Moran, who came in hard to try to block that kick, and there goes the gun. That ends the half. And the Giants are in front, 31-14 here at Municipal Stadium, and we've got an exciting second half to look forward to. Okay, Woody.
This is Woody Erdman along with Ted Brown and Don Smith inviting you to stay tuned for halftime coming up next when we'll take a look at this new alignment in professional football and the kind of a switcheroo role that the Giants will play in 67 and 68 in the lineup and why this has taken place. So stay tuned. We'll be back with a halftime program. As now we pause 70 seconds for station identification. This is the New York Giants Radio Network. It's halftime here at Municipal Stadium in Cleveland, Ohio. The score here at halftime, 31 for the New York Giants, 14 for the Cleveland Browns. Well, the teams have retired to the dressing room, and the usual halftime entertainment is underway down on the field. In the meantime, we'll be filling you in on some of the first half details. Right now, we mentioned we would have as our guest Dave Marr along with Don Smith to chat a little bit, strange as it may seem, with snow on the ground here in Cleveland, about golf.
Well, Dave, that's what I was just about to ask you. What brings one of you fellows who follows the sun, as they say, to frigid Cleveland today?
Well, Don, as you know, I'm a big New York Giants fan, or at least a little fan anyhow, and I've always wanted to come out and see a road game and be with the team, so this is a good opportunity for me to be here.
You came right on the team playing, you've been eating with the club and watching the whole process of a road trip. Is that right, Dave?
Yes, I just wanted to see what it was like.
But, Dave, I'll tell you, football people being very superstitious, you may have to make every trip from now on. I don't think Al Sherman's going to let you out of his sight after this first half. What, as a fan and a fellow who's sitting in the press box for the first time, what's your view of today's ball game?
Well, Don, as you know, with the opening kickoff there when Clarence took it and ran 90 yards, he's been doing so good. And the guys in the press box were saying that it's about time for Clarence to get away in the very first play. He gets off and going. But it just looked like they're doing good blocking today, and the running is very good. I think that Alan Jacobs has been a real fine first half, and of course Morrison made a great catch on his touchdown catch.
That's right. Well, Dave, emotion plays a great deal part in this kind of a game. The momentum of an early run like Childs or an early play. You as a professional golfer, does this apply in a big tournament such as the PGA you won when you get off to a great subpar round in the beginning? Does that give you a little personal momentum to carry you through?
Well, it always does, Don. I think in any contest, any sport, there is a turning point or a place where you do gain momentum and the other fellow loses it. It's just the problem is for me to get momentum, and the problem this year has been for the Giants to get momentum.
Well, as we were saying at breakfast this morning, Dave, this is a game, of course, with 11 and 22 men who'll have to all help out. And in your sport, in your profession, it's you against everybody else and the course. So there is a little difference, but I think basically in pro sports, there's nothing like that fast getaway such as Clarence gave us today.
That's right. It's like birdieing the first hole. You know, that always gives you a little incentive to shoot a good round.
And Dave, I know that you've taken a brief respite from the pro golf tour. I believe there's the final pro event of the year begins in West Palm Beach next week. But are you going to be in that, or are you going to wait a little while longer?
I'm going to wait a little longer, Don. I've made my plans a little in advance and decided I wasn't going to play at Palm Beach, or actually couldn't play because of business. And I plan to stay home through New Year's and then go out about the middle of January and begin at the Crosby tournament.
Well, Dave, living up in Westchester as you do, I imagine with this kind of weather, there's not too much chance for you to work on your game, is there?
No, that's when I spend my time watching football, Don.
Well, you can get some credit points in with your wife and children, Dave, and I know that all of the fans along the Giant Network will be watching you a little extra closely now that they know you're one of us and you're a football buff, and anybody who would pass up West Palm Beach to come to Cleveland in December is a real Giant fan. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you, Don, very much.
Woody?
That was Don Smith with Dave Marr, PGA golf champion, and as we mentioned, recent winner of the CBS Golf Classic. Don Smith, before you bounce to the rear of the booth to talk a little golf, we mentioned to our listeners, and certainly there has been a lot of it in the newspapers and a lot on television, a lot on radio. The National Football League realignment next season, which will be divided into 4 groups of 4 teams each, and going to follow a new schedule and a new formula and a new semifinal and final and championship and Super Bowl.
Woody, stop it, Woody. What did you say? No, we have all followed with great interest, of course, this new alignment, and I believe, Woody, it has some good and bad points. Of course, with a big league of this type, it's hard to get an ideal setup, but I do believe one thing. The fans in the New York Giant area will benefit by a chance to see more Western Division teams coming into Yankee Stadium and against the Giants on television than normally. We will see a slight disruption of some of our old home-and-home series, but I believe in the long run, Giant fans and other pro fans will get a great variety of geographical ball clubs coming and going into Yankee Stadium, and it should spice up this race and give us a little more national flavor to our divisions.
I felt a little proud, I'm sure we all did, of the way the other teams in the league kind of had a battle about who was going to get an opportunity to play in Yankee Stadium against the Giants.
Well, Woody, there's 2 ways of looking at that. Of course, Yankee Stadium, with its sellouts, offers a very handsome guarantee to visiting clubs. They're reportedly somewhere in the neighborhood of 100,000, so that might interest them. And also the fact that everybody's been whipping us this year, and they might like to keep a nice soft touch on the schedule. But I believe that most teams do like to come into New York and play in the big city, and that's the way it'll always be.
I prefer to think that a lot of teams feel we're their traditional rivals, Don.
Well, they do. Of course, this team has a great rivalry here with Cleveland. Certainly Pittsburgh and Dallas have become Philadelphia, so there's a lot of tradition, a lot of history going into these games.
And I certainly don't want to let Washington get away after last week.
Well, no, I don't either, and I'm just wondering, Woody, if this score makes Washington 92 points better than Cleveland.
Stay with us. The score here at halftime, to which Don is referring, 31 for the New York Giants, 14 for Cleveland. Woody Erdman along with Don Smith, our guest Dave Marr, the champion golfer, and Ted Brown has just come into the booth with some refreshments. So while he has done this, let's bring in Don Smith, who doesn't look hungry.
Is that what Ted does at halftime, Woody? I wondered where he went. We have the latest stats here. While Ted was bringing up the hot dogs, Dick Boyce brought up the stats here. It shows total yards gained, Giants 182 to Cleveland's 168, and that is a refreshing change. Here's the statistic that looks a little odd here. The Giants 117 yards rushing, Cleveland 49. That gives you an idea of the ball control the Giants have had in this first half. Frank Ryan is 6 for 12 in passes. Gary Wood 4 for 8. But Woody has also run the ball 4 times for 46 yards, including those 2 very important touchdown runs. So the Giants have exhibited a great deal of balance here, Woody, and the big thing is the ball control on rushing. 33 plays to 23 for the Browns in this first half.
Okay, Don Smith, this concludes our halftime program. Stay tuned for the kickoff of the second half, which will take place in just a few minutes. The score here at halftime, 31 for the Giants, 14 for Cleveland. The Giants will kick off here to describe it for you, Ted Brown.
Thank you, Woody. All set to go now. Gogolak will kick it. Kelly and Roberts, the deep men, they have been all ball game. Here comes the whistle in the booth. It's off to the sidelines. It bounces around the 33 to 25-yard line, and there is where it's whistled dead, and the Giants recovered it. That was a short kick out to the sidelines, the right sideline. Homer Jones, coming down fast, grabbed that ball, and the Giants take over 1st and 10 on the Cleveland Brown 26-yard line.
Well, that's a pretty good onside kick when you're trying to put it into the end zone, Ted. That's what happens when those Hungarians give us the side of the foot treatment.
All right, they break it. We got Homer Jones out wide to the left side. Quick hand up, this time to Morrison up the middle. He pulls his way down to just about the 20, and that's where he's hit hard. Walt Johnson, left tackle, 6'4" and 270, brings him down. The Giants in front, 31-14, just the start of the second half. And aggressive as they are in this ball game, they took advantage of a short kick by Gogolak, comparatively short, around the 25-yard line toward the sidelines, and Homer Jones was down there to recover that ball, and so they're threatening again. And now we've got Aaron Thomas out to the right side. Jones put wide to the left. Gary Wood, the quarterback, takes it. Hands off to Morrison, coming around the left side. He cuts up to the 20, the 15-yard line, the 13, and that's where he's hit. A beautiful cut and run by Joe Morrison. Jim Kinnicky brings him down with Mike Kellerman, and that looks like it's good enough for the first down.
Ted, in the first half, we saw the Giants running inside the tackle, straight-ahead plays. Now, on this play, we saw Morrison start in there, the blocking formed, and then he slid to the outside, working outside the tackles. A very good change up there.
Let's see what happens now. They break it again with Aaron Thomas on the right side. 1st and 10 on the Brown 13-yard line. Gary Wood calling him, takes it, hands up again, this time to Jacobs, who is hit behind the line of scrimmage and bounces off, and that's where they whistle it dead, just about on the 13-yard line. No gain in the play. Maybe a foot or two loss.
Ted, we're all set with the quarterback club.
All right, let's hear it.
Well, it's a second down situation. You want to wait for third and yardage?
That's what it is, 3rd and less than 5, so we'll have to wait one more down or so.
How about an end around with Homer Jones right here, Ted?
All right, let's see if you're right. Homer Jones comes out of that huddle, and now he is on the left side, split about 3 feet. There's a snap, a handoff. No, it's going to be a pass. He's looking. He can't find anybody. He's going way out. He's still on his feet, and he finally lets it go, and it's incomplete. And he's hit hard back on the 32 by Bill Glass.
Well, now we have that third down situation, Ted.
All right, let's see what the quarterback club says.
Well, this comes to us from Barry Mitnick, who listens to WHAV, Haverful, Mass. A hook-in pattern over the center to a tight end.
A hook-in pattern. Barry Mitnick, is it? Mitnick. All right, let's see if he gets a hook-in pattern. Right now, the Giants are threatening. They're in front, 31-14. Up front, Wiggin, Johnson, Kinnicky, and Glass, the front 4. Now they break it. Aaron Thomas goes flanked out wide to the right. And we've got Jones to the left side. Deep men are Morrison and Jacobs. Gary Wood takes it, trips on his way back. A little pass out to the right side. Morrison has it to 15-10. The 5-yard line, and finally he's knocked down. A little swing pass out to the left side it was. And Morrison took that and was off down to the 5-yard line, just short of the 5. Jim Houston, Dale Lindsay brought him down. Well, it wasn't a look-in pattern or a hook-in. It was a little swing pass. So we'll have to send him
the autograph pictures, right.
And the Giants will now attempt a field goal. Number 3, Pete Gogolak, the only Giant wearing sneakers. He's wearing white sneakers. Now I see Don Davis is wearing white sneakers too. He'll be attempting this one from the 13-yard line, just off to the left side. There's snap. It's down. It's up, and it's good. With 11 minutes and 49 to go in the third quarter, the Giants now make it 34-14, and in just 60 seconds, more National Football League action.
WGY is your sports station. WGY microphones are there for the major sporting events that you want to listen to. This fall, you heard the World Series in WGY. You also heard the full schedule of the glorious New York Mets. During the autumn football months, WGY carried the entire season of Syracuse football. From the NFL, WGY broadcasts all the games of the New York Giants. The RPI hockey season began November 19th, and WGY is broadcasting every exciting game of the 1966 RPI hockey schedule. Paul Midgehall, former RPI Hockey All-American, describes the play-by-play action for our WGY microphones. During the winter months, beginning early in December, WGY will present Ski Trails, a series of programs devoted to skiing and ski reports. Around the first of the year, WGY will bring you the bowl games. Each weekday night at 5:45, Bill Carpenter comes your way with sports news and commentary on Sports Spotlight. Howard Tupper hosts Let's Talk Bowling every Thursday at 6:35. Can there be any doubt? WGY is your sports station.
Giants just scored 3 on a 13-yard field goal. Here comes the whistle, and there's the boot. And it's a long one back on the 5-yard line, taken there by Robert. Up the middle, the 10, the 15, the 20, the 25, the 30, and that's where he's hit, right on the 30-yard line by 2 Giants, Danny Lewis and number 55, Wellborn. Both of them, high and low, brought him down.
Well, that football got away from Roberts, and Wellborn got it, but evidently the whistle had blown, Ted.
It's going to be 1st and 10 for the Browns on their own 30-yard line, and they trail 34-14. 11 minutes and 32 to go in the third quarter. Warfield sent wide to the left side. Your 2 deep men are Green and Kelly. You've got Collins here on the right side. Evidently he was not injured. Here's a handoff. This time to Kelly. He finds room. The 40, the 45, the 50. He's all by himself at the 40 in Giant territory, and he's finally caught and brought down on the 30-yard line by Clarence Childs and Henry Carr. A beautiful an opening for Kelly, who really is fast, accelerates the minute he sees that hole, and he burst through there and off he went. Deep into Giant territory, the 30-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Browns on the Giant 30. Up front for the Giants, Katkavich, Moran, Davis, and Condon, the front 4. White, left linebacker, Ciccolello in the middle, and Smith on the other side. Now 1st and 10 for the Browns on the Giant 30. Both teams lined up. There's a snap. It's going to be a pass. He fades back. Ryan's looking. A little pass out the 30-yard line to Green. Goes to 25, the 20 down the sideline, knocked out at the 15-yard line. Freeman White gives him a hard shoulder and knocks him out.
That was a very good call, Ted. The Giants were coming hard on that pass drop by Ryan, and he really had them set up there with everybody in behind. He dropped the ball right over their heads.
And they spotted on the 16-yard line. It's going to be 1st down and 10. 1st and 10 on the 16. Now the Browns break their offensive huddle with Paul Warfield. Flanked out to the left side. Gary Collins split to the right. Ryan takes it. A quick handoff to Kelly. He's hit hard. No gain on the play. Correction, Ernie Green. No Green at all. A big pile up. A lot of Giants hit up. Number 83, Glenn Condren from the bottom of the pile, along with Mike Ciccolello.
Don Davis wound up with Green like a doll from a bazaar there. He was carrying him around in the backfield, and the official told him to put him down, Ted. So he took him back to the huddle and left him there.
He lost a yard in that play. It's going to be 2nd and 11 on the 16, on the 17-yard line. Now Warfield goes to the left side again. They're in that double wing with 3 men on the left side. It's going to be a pass. He's fading back. Long. Now a little swing pass out to the left side to Green. He's got it on the 20, the 15, the 10, the 5, the 4-yard line, and he's knocked down and he falls to the 3. Wendell Harris and Clarence Childs. High and low, brought him down. Nice pass and run, too, by Ernie Green.
Ted, the same play we just saw them throw 2 plays ago to the right side, the 3-man screen, now to the left.
And that ball is placed down the 3-yard line. Warfield comes out, and Clifton McNeil goes in at left end. It's 1st and goal to go on the 3-yard line. Green and Kelly, your deep men. Waiting for the snap from center. Ryan takes it, hands off to Kelly. He pulls his way up and over. Touchdown, Browns. He needed 3 yards for a score, and that's what he got. 9 minutes to go in the third quarter. And the Browns score, making it 34-20. And now Groza will come in to attempt the extra point. Freeman White has been in on the last 2 extra points. Has deflected the ball twice. Let's see what he does on this one. Both teams lined up. Waiting for it. There's the snap. The kick. It's up. Nobody touched it. It's good. The Giants 34. The Browns 21.
Okay, Ted, let's pause briefly. The score, as you have just mentioned, 34-21, the Giants over the Browns. In just a half minute, more National Football League action.
Inject a little adventure into your life. Be at ringside when the pucks fly. Join the arena crowd for the body-bruising excitement of RPI collegiate hockey. Absolutely free. Here's how. Draw the facsimile of an RPI hockey puck on the back of a postcard. The 10 best facsimiles win 2 free tickets to the RPI Yale hockey game on Wednesday, December 7th. Mail your artistic creation to Hockey Tickets, WGY Schenectady. An impartial board of artistic hockey players will pick the winners.
Municipal Stadium, Cleveland. The third period, 9 minutes and 1 second remaining. 34-21, the Giants over the Browns. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the New York Giants Radio Network.
810 on your radio dial, WGY Schenectady, a General Electric Broadcasting Company station.
All set for the kickoff. We have Phil Harris and Clarence Childs deep, standing at about the 12-yard line. We'll see if they switch when Groza approaches that ball. There's the whistle. They are switching now, and there's the kick. And this time Groza knew it, so he booted it back there. Phil Harris takes it on the 5, the 10, 15, a hole up the middle of the 25, on his feet going for the sidelines of 30, making the turn to 35, the 40, the 43, 44-yard line, and finally Groza had to bring him down. Brilliant run back by Phil Harris.
Well, that was a nice recovery by Harris. He was down. Actually, he had one hand extended to protect himself from falling down. Did a complete 360 and was on his way to the far sideline.
Gives the Giants good field position. They're 1st and 10 now on their own 44-yard line. And now they line up. We've got Homer Jones wide beneath us on the left side. Morrison, the deep man. He takes it. Can't find a hole. Goes over to his left side. Tries there. Goes over the 45 to about the 43. Correction, 47-yard line.
Ted, you can see the way Morrison's running. The footing is very bad, and he is not a straight-ahead runner where you can pick up the traction. He's trying to go laterally from time to time, and this takes more effort from him on this bad footing, so he just couldn't get started then.
Well, he picked up a few. It's 2nd and 6 on the 48. Now Thomas is flanked out wide to the right side. You got Jones wide to the left. It's a fake. It's going to be a pass. He's going back to throw. He does over the middle, and it's incomplete. Intended for Homer Jones. It was high and just a little behind him.
This is a very difficult pass to throw to Homer, Ted, because he comes across so fast that the quarterback must lead him more than he would a normal receiver, and very often we'll see that ball thrown a little behind him.
It would have been nice to see him catch that because, as you say, Don, he was at top speed, and there's a lot of open spaces out there. I wonder just how far he would have gone. It's going to be 3rd and 6 on the 48. Aaron Thomas goes wide to the right side. Gary Wood walks up behind Larson, takes it, goes straight back. He's going to pass again, getting good protection. He may run. He does. The 45, the 50, the 45 in Cleveland territory, the 40, the 35, and finally around the 30-yard line, they bring that little quarterback down.
This is like his old Cornell days, Woody. I know he used to scramble. That's right.
First down, Giants.
Well, as you know, he held the record, and it was broken only this year by Larson at Cornell. So not only was he an excellent thrower, but a great scrambler.
He might be the Giants' leading rusher for the season after today, Ted. I don't know.
He's brilliant out there today. 1st and 10 on the Browns' 31-yard line. Now Thomas is sent wide to the right side. He's flanked to the right. Waiting for the snap from Larson. He passes it back. Wood takes it. Hands off to Morrison. He bucks to the 30-yard line. Stopped right there cold. Picked up 1 yard in the play. It's 2nd and 9 on the 30. Paul Wiggin and Walt Johnson hit him hard. Stopped him while he was standing on his feet, and that's where the play stopped with 3 men standing up.
Ted, I believe we'll see the Giants start to go to the outside a little bit more now. The Browns have adjusted in that middle. We might see a quick pitch out or an end run or perhaps this reverse to one of our ends, Jones or Thomason here.
Okay, Don, let's see it. We'll watch. Get a quarterback club ready, too, because it's 2nd and 9 on the 30 to Brown's 30. Jones out wide to the left side. A handoff this time to Morrison. He pulls his way up to about the 25-yard line. A big pile-up of white jerseys, Cleveland Browns, and he's finally brought down. And it's right on the 25. And so he picked up 5. It's going to be 3rd and 4 on the 25. And what's the quarterback club say?
Well, it comes to us from Schenectady, from Hal Green and Dick Belkin's way, WGY. It's a sideline pass to Aaron Thomas and has been sent in by Chris Holmblad from Schenectady. Chris Holmblad.
Well, Chris, we'll see if you're right in a minute. The Giants in their road uniforms, blue jerseys and white pants, break it. Line up now. Jones out to the left side. He's going to throw. No, he's hit hard back there for a loss on the 30, 33-yard line. Walt Johnson and Jim Kinnicky, both 6'4" and 270, took hold of young Gary Wood, and down he went. Lost 5, so it's 4th down, on the 30-yard line, and it's going to be another field goal attempt by Pete Gogolak. We've got 5 minutes and 47 to go in the third quarter. The Giants in front, 34-21. This will be a 37-yard attempt, and it looks like it's right down the middle. Both teams lined up. There it is. Wood puts it down. He boots it. It's up, and it's good. Put those uprights right into.
Well, Ted, Don Smith and I were saying that we would have liked to have seen in that previous field goal kick by Gogolak a touchdown for the Giants, because it would have given us the additional points. But as it turned out, why Ali is calling him, and this is the reason he's the coach properly, and as a result of 2 field goals, we have now taken that 37-21 lead, which in this kind of a ball game is very, very important. Let's take a look at a 10-second message passed along to us, and it is from Volvo. Could you tell us a little bit about Volvo, Ted?
Oh, yes. Volvo, of course, is the car that'll get you just about everything you want. And, of course, any year you drive a Volvo, it looks new, and it is new.
And this is the car you get 25 miles to the gallon?
That's right. And you save all that money, and you can take your wife to Europe.
Woody, I bet when you
Lots
played
of luck.
ball, you used the lateral when you were in trouble, huh?
You can tell the Giants are winning because quite a bit of levity here in the booth today. Don Smith, who is Chief of Public Relations and also does a turn on the Sullivan Show and the Palace every now and then, is here with us. We're all set for the kickoff. 37-21, the Giants in front. Here comes Gogolak, and there's the booth. Kelly and Roberts waiting. Roberts takes it back on the 4-yard line, up the middle of the 10, the 15, the 20, goes toward the sidelines on his left side, and he's grabbed there by one Giant and brought down. That was Lewis, Danny Lewis, and on the kickoff team, who came down hard and fast and grabbed him. And now it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Browns, the ball on their own 24-yard line. Katkavich, Moran, Davis, and Condren, still the front 4 for the Giants. And for the Browns, we have McNeil in for Warfield at left end. Now Collins is sent wide to the right side in that double flanker. 3 men on the right side. It's a handoff, this time to Kelly. Coming around, he's got a blocker in front of him, the 25, the 30. He flies over one Giant, and he goes down to 35. Ciccolello finally brings him down.
Ted, this is the second time in the last 2 or 3 plays the Browns have run that Jerry Hillebrand, the Giants' left linebacker, has gone inside on a Red Dog rush, and the Browns have come right around that end where he has just vacated the territory. So either they're lucky or Ryan is seeing that move and calling the automatic.
Well, that was good enough for a first down. It's 1st and 10 on their own 36-yard line.
Here it is, Ted, a quarter after 3. The lights have just gone on at Municipal Stadium.
And we've got them all set and all lined up and ready. Ryan takes it. Takes the handoff to one man. Goes back to pass. Looking out to the left side. Throws out there for Smith, who has it on the 40-yard line in Giant territory, and he's knocked down just about the 35. Henry Carr brought him down. Beautiful pass. Another first down for the Browns. 1st and 10 on the 36. They went from their own 36 to the Giant 36. Up on the scoreboard, Pittsburgh goes goes ahead of Philadelphia 16-13 in the third quarter. And here at Municipal Stadium, the Giants going for their second win of the season. In front 37-21 with 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. And now the double wing again. 3 men on the left side. Single deep man is Green. Bryant takes it, slips on the way back. He's going to throw. He throws a long one out to the right side to Collins. He's got that ball at the 3, and he's out of bounds at the 2-yard line. Ryder Lockhart, who went to make the turn and lost about 2 steps on him, and that's all you've got to lose. And Gary Collins, of course, one of the top receivers in the NFL. He puts this Brown team in scoring territory on the 2-yard line.
Ted, I think this is just about as potentially explosive a passing attack as there is in the league. As a matter of fact, Ryan went into this game just 1 touchdown pass behind Don Meredith.
He throws a beauty, I tell you. He puts it right there.
Yeah, that was beautifully thrown.
Up front now on this goal line stand for the Giants. We've got Ketchavich, Moran, Davis, and Condren. Hillebrand, Ciccolino, and White. Lined up again. Sander T. Kelly and Green deep men. He's going to pass. And he's hit back hard and hit hard. The ball goes out of his hands. Condren hit him. Incomplete. And Dr. Frank Ryan slow getting up off that ground. Frank Ryan got his doctorate. And he just, I think he rates up there with just about the best in the league. And he's got his team down the 2-yard line trying to score with 3 minutes and 48 to go in the third quarter, and the Browns trail 37-21. They line up again. Kelly and Green, deep men. A handoff this time to Kelly. He pulls his way up the middle and good enough for the score. A big pile up, but I think he made it by inches. $37-27 now. 3 minutes and 43 to go in the third quarter.
Well, Ted, last week we had a total of 113 points scored in that ball game, and so far we have 64 scored in this one, 65 perhaps coming up.
Groza will attempt. Lanowski will hold. Both teams lined up. He puts it down, he kicks it, it's up, it's good. The Giants 37, the Cleveland Browns 28. And in just 60 seconds, more National Football League action.
WGY is your sports station. WGY microphones are there for the major sporting events you want to listen to. This fall, you heard the World Series in WGY. You also heard the full schedule of the glorious New York Mets. During the autumn football months, WGY carried the entire season of Syracuse football. From the NFL, WGY broadcasts all games of the New York Giants. The RPI hockey season began November 19th. WGY is broadcasting every exciting game of the 66 RPI hockey schedule.
Municipal Stadium in Cleveland, the third quarter, 3 minutes and 43 seconds remaining of the period, 37-28. The Giants over the Browns kicking off. Ted?
Here it comes. They switched again. This time Childs will take it back on the 2. The crowd's waiting to see what happens. He goes to 10, the 15, the 20. Hit hard by the first Brown he meets, and he goes down the 23-yard line. And that was Galen Fitz. First and 10 for the Giants on their own 23. They're in front 37-28. The Browns slowly closing that gap. The Giants threatened 2 times and went for the field goal. Now this partisan crowd here at Municipal Stadium, they're yelling for the Browns to get possession. All right, Aaron Thomas goes to the right side. Morrison and Jacob the deep men. And Wood's going to pass. He goes back to look. He throws over the middle. And once again to Homer Jones. And Homer was hit hard after that ball was thrown over his head.
There's a flag down on about the 14-yard line.
Might be holding against the Giants. No, it wasn't. Roughing the passer. I think one of the Browns wanted to take Gary Wood home with him then. He was heading for the exit, and they threw their flag at him.
Well, it's first and 10 on the 38-yard line now. I was just about to ask you how come that Wood was so far off on his last 2 passes to Jones, it seems like. And he
Could be Homer making a wrong pattern there, Ted.
All right, let's see what happens now. 1st and 10 on their own 38. There's a snap from center. Wood's going to throw. He goes back, throws out to the right side, and it's out to Crispino. Has it on the 40-yard line. He's hit, the 42, and he's hit hard and knocked down immediately. A 4-yard gain on a play. It'll be 2nd down and 6 on the 42. Well, I understand that Homer Jones has a new pattern, a lookout pattern that they throw to him now. He runs about a 40-yard lookout pattern. He runs downfield 40 yards. Gary Wood goes back, and they yell, "Look out!" And they throw it. All right, here we go. 2nd and 6 from the 42. There's the snap in center. Wood goes back, slips a little bit, throws, and it's out to Morrison on the 50-yard line. And that's where he's knocked out of bounds, just a yard or two in Cleveland Brown territory. He caught it on the 50 and went into Cleveland Brown territory, good enough for a 1st down. It's 1st and 10 now on the Brown 48-yard line, just short of the 48.
We have a third period score in the Pittsburgh-Philadelphia game. The Steelers lead 16-13, Ted. Second quarter, Green Bay 7, San Francisco nothing. Third quarter, Baltimore 14, Chicago 7.
And here at Municipal Stadium, the Giants in front, 37-28. 1st and 10 on the Brown 48-yard line. Wood takes it from Larson. He's going back again to pass. He's looking. He slips. He throws a long one for Jones down the 10-yard line. Incomplete. 2 Brown defenders on him. They all went up for it, and somebody banged that ball. Mike Howell and Ross Fichtner. That was a long fly pattern to Homer Jones.
But, Ted, you know, of course, the Browns are one of the best secondaries in the National Football League defending against the deep pass. They might give you the 20-yard or 30-yard pass, but when you throw that ball over 40, they have very good deep drops and coverage back in that deep area.
Homer Jones is just about 10 yards away from the huddle now. He's coming back slow. He has snow on the back of his jersey. He fell into the end zone. They've got snow in both end zones. It's going to be 2nd and 10 on the Brown 48. 2 minutes and 20 to go in the third quarter, and the Giants are in front 37-28.
What's the draw play here, Ted?
All right, let's look for the draw. Both teams lined up. Wood takes it. It's a draw, all right. And Jacobs has it. He goes to the 45, the 40-yard line, and he's upended there by Ross Fichtner. Good call, Don. Good. How did you know? Now there's a whistle down, official time, and they're going to be measuring this one. It's going to be close for the 1st down. An important 1st down for the Giants.
It looks like it may be shy by just a bit.
No,
it's 1st down.
1st down by inches, but that's all you need. So it's 1st and 10. The Giants have put 3 1st downs back-to-back. 1st and 10, and that ball is on the 39-yard line of the Cleveland Browns. And you can get the quarterback club ready if we have a chance, and if you can't, why, I'm sure Gary Wood can call him. He's been doing it all day long. Now Homer Jones comes wide to the left side. Morrison and Jacobs are deep men. Wood takes it. Hands off to Jacobs, who dives over the 40 to down around the 37-yard line. Picks up 2 yards in the play. It'll be 2nd and 8 on the 37. And Jim Houston, their left linebacker, grabbed hold of his knees as he went, flying through the air. 1 minute and 31 to go now in the third quarter. Giants in front, 37-28. And oh, how they'd like to win this one. Gary Wood, quarterback since the opening kickoff. And that was some opening kickoff. A 91-yard return by Clarence Childs. All right, both teams ready. There's a snap. Another draw up the middle. This time to Morrison. He finds room, goes to 35, down to the 31-yard line, and finally a big pile-up knocks him down. Walt Johnson, along with Paul Wiggin, and that safety man, Mike Kellerman, came up to do the job.
You know, we have a quarterback club call ready then, Ted.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Ed Krook, the Giants promotion director, just pointed out to us that Alan Jacobs has done a splendid job blocking today, which might account for a lot of the fine running that we've seen down there. He's a very fine blocker.
It's 2nd and 3 down on the 31-yard line.
It's 3rd and 3.
3rd and 3, correction.
Down and out pass, I'll tell you the name. That's the call that we have.
All right, let's see what happens. Both teams lined up. It's a handoff up the middle to Jacobs. He goes to the 30, and he is stopped cold right there. Picked up 1 yard on the play. So they're going to be short again about by 2 yards of the 1st down.
That was a down and out pass, and of course it was that was the call of the quarterback club, Joseph Close, Bay Knoll Road, Rochester.
listens to WMIV. Joseph Close, Bay Knoll Road, Rochester, listens to WMIV.
Well, we'll send him a photo pack. And now Pete Gogolak has come in again to try the field goal. He'll be kicking this one from about the 38-yard line as the gun goes off that ends the third quarter. With the Giants in front, 37-28, and about to attempt the 38-yard field goal. Let's pause a minute. This is New York Giants football. And now here's a message from Volvo.
Have you actually got your wife convinced that you save money by getting a new car every 2 or 3 years? Well, why don't you cut that out? You know you can get a car that will hold up longer than 2 or 3 years every time. A Volvo lasts an average of 11 years, and that's in Sweden, where there are no speed limits on the highways, where there are over 70,000 miles of unpaved roads. It also out-accelerates every other compact in its class and gets over 25 miles to a gallon, even with automatic transmission. Keep a Volvo just 6 years, and you'll come out way ahead. That'll give you 3 years to pay for it, 3 years to put money in the bank after you've paid for it, and plenty of time to relax. And you won't feel self-conscious about having a 6-year-old car sitting in your driveway either. Your neighbors won't notice its age any more than you will. Volvos don't get the big new look treatment every year. That's a Volvo. Take a test drive at your nearby Volvo dealer. He's listed in the yellow pages of the telephone book.
Test drive the Volvo at Nemeth Circle Dodge in Latham, New York.
And now back on the field. We'll pick it up where we left off. A 38-yard attempt by Pete Gogolak. Both teams ready, waiting. There's a snap. It's up. He kicks it. It looks like it could be wide. It is wide to the left. So the Browns will take over the start of the fourth quarter, and they trail 37-28.
Now, of course, the difference here is 9 points, Ted, and that's of greatest significance. So it will take more than a touchdown by the Browns to go ahead in this ball game, or it would be impossible for them to tie it up.
Woody, what the Giants defense must do is take this ball back right now, hold the Browns, and keep from getting hurt by one of those long plays.
Well, both teams are ready. It's 1st and 10 for the Browns on their own 20. They go to the double wing. 3 men on the left side. The single deep man, Kelly, takes a handoff, comes around to the 20, the 25, and that's where he's upended right there by Glenn Condren. Glenn Condren did the job on him, with John Wooten, their left guard, leading that charge around the left end, and he made that first block that broke him loose.
We have a fourth period score on the Philadelphia-Pittsburgh game. That's been a seesaw battle. The Eagles have gone back into the lead now. They lead 20-16. We play Pittsburgh next week at the stadium.
And it's 2nd and 5 on the 25, the Brown 25. Now they bring it again. Collins out to the right side. The single deep man. They're in a double wing. It's a handoff again to Kelly. He's coming around that same side, goes over the 30, and goes out of bounds by himself at the 34-yard line.
Ted, the Giants are flopping their corner linebackers, Hillebrand and Freeman White, back and forth from left to right side, perhaps to give more experience on an open side field where Hillebrand would be covering the swing receiver. But the Browns have come back twice and caught the Giants in this switch.
That last play was good enough for the first down, so it's 1st and 10 on the Brown 34, and Nick Petrosanti comes in for Ernie Green. So you got Petrosanti and Kelly, your deep men, Collins, your flanker, Smith and McNeil, the two ends. Now Ryan breaks it, talks to Petrosanti as he comes to the center, bends over, waiting for it, takes it, takes the handoff to Petrosanti, throws a swing pass out to the left side. Kelly takes it on the 40-yard line, on his feet there, gets away from one Giant, he's brought down at the 45. Henry Carr brings him down with a low tackle. He falls up to about the 46-yard line.
That was a nice recovery by Henry Carr. It looked on 2 occasions like he would be out of it, but he stayed right in there and finally made the tackle. Had he not done that, we'd have been in trouble, Ted.
Good enough for another first down, too. That's 1st and 10 now on the 46-yard line. Jim Patton comes in for Henry Carr at safety. Henry was shaken up from the last play, and these Cleveland Brown fans are yelling, "Go, go to the Browns." Now they line up again. Petrosanti and Kelly, the two deep men. There's the snap from center. Ryan's going to throw. He does. Out to the left side for Smith, who has that ball in Giant territory at the 34-yard line. And that's where they put it. And the Browns are moving this ball. Started back on their own 20. Another first down, the ball on the 34-yard line in Giant territory. screen, comes back in for Nick Petrosanti.
Ted, the Giants are shooting those corner linebackers, but they're not getting to Ryan, and the linebackers being in on those rushes are leaving that secondary very vulnerable back there in the deep area.
Gary Collins now down. Is sent wide to the right side. They go into that double wing. 3 men on the left side. 3 possible receivers. It's going to be a pass. He's going back to the 40. He looks to the right side. Throws a long one down there to the 15-yard line, and it looks like it could have been intercepted by Lockhart.
There's a flag over on the far side of the field.
Far side of the field. Collins and Lockhart went up for that ball, and Lockhart came down and started running with it. There's a flag, and the ball is still down there on the 17-yard line.
Ted, Ryan, going into this game, had only been intercepted 3 times. He was second in the league only to Bart Starr. 8 times, second only to Bart Starr. He has been intercepted 3 times in this game.
That was offside. Cleveland decline. Lockhart makes his 3rd interception of the day, Woody, which I believe ties the Giant club record for most interceptions in one game.
And a big interception, too, at the right time. The Giants take over 1st and 10 on their own 17. Both teams lined up now. Gary Wood waits for Larson to give it to him. He does. He hands off to Jacobs. Goes over the 20, the 23-yard line. Hit once by a Brown. Got away from him. A great second effort again.
Ted, also a great automatic by Gary Wood. The Cleveland middle linebacker moved over to the left on a Red Dog move, and Gary automatic and called Jacobs over the other side, over the middle, and the linebacker was not there. Very good automatic call.
It's second down. That ball's on the 24-yard line. 2nd and 3. Wood takes it, fakes the handoff, bootlegs that ball around the other side. He goes up to about the 30-yard line. That's where he stops. But that looks like it's good enough for the first down. It is 1st and 10 for the Giants. That's the 3rd time that Gary Wood has done that. And to make a pun, why, most of the Browns are wearing sneakers, but the fellow who's been really great with the sneakers today has been Gary Wood. He sneaked a couple, 1 over for a score, 2 over for a score. Did he score twice on that bootleg?
Not on the bootleg, but he scored twice, Ted.
Beautiful. All right, back on the field. 1st and 10 for the Giants. There's a snap. A handoff to Jacobs. Doesn't get too far, but it looked like Gary Wood slipped when he tried to make the handoff, and so it slowed that play up before it started.
Ted, I would seem to think from here that the temperature has dropped 5 or 6 degrees. There was a little moisture on this field earlier today, and it could be freezing a little bit now. The footing seems to be getting worse for both sides. It's very hard for a back to get going into that line from a standing start.
It's 2nd and 8 down on the 31-yard line. The Giants in possession. They lead 37-28 with 11:28 to go in the football game. Homer Jones out to the left. Thomas to the right. Wood takes it. He gets it, a draw play up the middle, and Jacobs finds daylight, goes up to about the 35-yard line. Jim Houston, left linebacker, brings him down, along with big number 71, who's playing a good game for the Browns. Walt Johnson, their left tackle, 6'4" and 270. So they spot it down on the 35. He picked up 4 on the play.
Ted, you can rest assured the Philadelphia Eagles are keeping their eyes peeled to the scoreboard because they lead Pittsburgh 27-16, and they could come out of that game with a 7-5 record, and Cleveland could come out of this game with a 7-5 record.
Ted, let's look for a little swing pass to Morrison out of the backfield here on 3rd and 5.
All right, 3rd and 5. Here we go. Both teams lined up. It's going to be a pass. He's going back. He's looking. He's going up the middle. He may run with it. He does. The 35. He's hit at the just over that 35, 37-yard line. Is a flag on the play. A flag on the play down here beneath us, the 42. Dale Lindsey hit Wood.
Ted, that looks like defensive holding, automatic first down, unless it was pass interference. No?
It was.
That's what it was.
Automatic first down.
Defensive holding, that's right. Not pass interference. Holding before the ball was thrown. There's a difference there. Interference is hitting the man as the ball is thrown. Here they held up Morrison on the run, and it's automatic first down.
1st and 10 on their own 43-yard line. The Giants, possession is what they need and want. And they must keep it. They're in front, 37-28. 10 minutes and 34 to go in the game. They line up again. Gary Wood waiting, takes it. Hands off to Jacobs. Jacobs comes up to the 45-yard line. He's met by Brown. Walt Johnson leading the pack with Ross Bickner. Picked up 2 yards in the play. It'll be 2nd and 8
on the 45, just over the 45. Ted, how about that scoring report in Atlanta and Minnesota? Second quarter, the Falcons lead the Vikings 13-7.
And here at Municipal Stadium, and it is cold and gray, and that wind is coming off Lake Erie, but it's warm for the Giants. They're in front, 37-28. Second and 8 on the 46-yard line. Homer Jones split wide to the left. A fake draw play. He's going to throw. He does. Thomas has it in from the 40-yard line to 35 in Brown territory, and he's hit hard at the 35. A beautiful pattern and a nice pass by Gary Wood. It's going to be first and 10 for the Giants in Cleveland territory on the 35-yard line. And time for a 10-second message. This is New York Giants football. Hey, friend, now that there's a break in the action, why not take a break yourself? A Valentine break. Valentine's got the flavor that says, hey, friend, do it again. Valentine beer.
Ted, you know what made that play? Wood faked a draw play to Jacobs, and Jacobs went out for a pass, and the linebackers were watching Jacobs, and Thomas sneaked right past them into the open.
It was the big play. It keeps possession for the Giants, and they're running that clock. 9:10 to go. There's a snap from center. A pitch out, this time to Morrison, going around the left side. He's trying to jitterbug his way around there, and he finally is knocked out of bounds at just about the 30-yard line, it looks like. And the clock stopped with 9 minutes to go in the football game. And Joe went over the 30 to about the 28, in between the 28 and 29-yard line.
Ted, there was the pitch out that we spoke about before. After 2 or 3 fakes into the line, and now throwing outside the Cleveland line, which is starting to bunch up tight in the middle.
The Giants come out of their offensive huddle down, and this time we've got Thomas flanked wide to the right side. Deep men are Morrison and Jacobs. Wood takes it, hands off to Jacobs. He finds room, goes to 25, down to the 20-yard line, turning away, his knees going like crazy. I tell you, he has a second effort that we haven't seen up until now, and it's a beauty. He's picking up enough extra 3 and 4 yards after he's hit.
Actually, John Brewer gave him a real help there. He gave him a shove from behind, and that was good enough for 3 or 4 yards anyway when he got it.
Good enough for the first down. It's first and 10 for the Giants, deep in Brown territory on the 19-yard line. Thomas out to the right side. Wood takes it, hands off to Morrison, who tries the middle, but he's hit hard. No gain on the play. It'll be second and 10 on the 19, and that was Dale Lindsey, the middle linebacker, who made that tackle. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is New York Giants Radio Network.
A 10 on your radio dial, this is WGY in Schenectady, a General Electric Broadcasting Company station.
Back on the field. It's second and 10 on the 19. Thomas out to the right side. Gary Wood calling him, looking left and right. Takes a pass from Larson, hands off to Jacobs. He pulls his way down to about the 15-yard line. Paul Wiggin and Walt Johnson make the tackle. And Don Smith just made an observation to me that Jacobs runs bent over, and so he picks up those extra few yards after he's hit on his forward momentum.
That's right. He's lunging forward all the time, Ted, and he gets that extra yard or so of body length, which is often very important.
It's 3rd and 7 on the 15. And the clock is running. 7:20 to go in the football game. The Giants in front, 37-28. Thomas out to the right side. Wood waiting. Larson gives it to him. He fakes to one man. He's going to throw. He's rolling out to his right side. He finally throws in the end zone. Intercepted by a Brown on a 3-4-yard line. There's a flag on the play. It was intended for at Jacobs down around the 3. Dale Lindsey made the interception.
It looks like
it's against the Browns.
Right.
Again, another automatic first down, defensive holding.
Well, that helped, Ted. Those kind of breaks have not come to the Giant football team on many occasions this year. It's usually been the other way, so today seems to be a day of the tide turning a little bit.
It's an automatic first down. The ball is down on the 10-yard line, but possibly it's just this side of the 10. So it could be that the Giants would have to go for the first down before scoring. But that clock reads 7 minutes and 3 seconds to go in the game, and they're in front 37-28. And now Thomas is flanked wide to the right. Jacobs and Morrison deep. Wood takes it, hands it to Jacobs again. He tries, but he doesn't get anywhere. The left side, he goes for a loss on the play of at least 2-3 yards. Bill Glass came busting through there to bust up that play.
Ted, it could very well be those 2 penalties that were against the Browns in this series could have been the very, very important factors in the outcome of this ball game.
Well, it's going to be 2nd and 13, Woody. And 6 minutes and 37 to go in the game. Giants come out of their offensive huddle again. Thomas flanked wide to the right. Gary Wood calls it, takes it, fakes to one man. He's going to throw, rolls out to the right side. He finally gets it off, and it's incomplete, nearly intercepted by Mike Kellerman. And giving Gary a big rush was Jim Kinnicky, who caught onto his shirt. And while he pulled that shirt, Gary released that ball. It was Mike Kellerman who nearly intercepted it, but it was incomplete. Couldn't hold on.
Ted, we've seen a lot of those deflected balls today, both on offense and defense, and by now those players' hands and fingers must be very stiff with this real cold weather. Kellerman had that ball, but the feeling is probably not in those hands.
Hey, down Atlanta leading Minnesota 20-7 in the second period. And here, with 6 minutes and 18 to go, the Giants in front 37-28. Both teams lined up. Wood waits, takes it. It's a draw play to Jacobs up to the 10-yard line, to the 9-yard line, and Walt Johnson hits him there. Picked up 4 yards in the play, but not enough for the first down, and so it's going to be another field goal attempt by Pete Gogolak.
Ted, this would make the margin 12 points. If Gogolak made it, would make it 12 points. It would mean the Browns would have to get 2 touchdowns to beat the Giants.
And so this is the important field goal, and it looks like it's going to be about a 17-yard attempt. We'll see when they line up. A 16-yard attempt, and it may be just slightly to the left, but more toward the middle. We'll see. All right, there's a snap. Wood puts it down. He kicks it. It's up. There's a flag on the play. And Giants were offside. Giants were offside. He gave us a signal that the Giants were offside because Aaron Thomas was jumping up and down.
I think they're going to call back.
And they're calling him back now. And it could possibly be that maybe the Browns were offside. Well, we'll see.
They called Katkavich back
It's
as
good.
team captain. That's correct.
It's good. And that's what it was. The first signal that we got, and it was the signal. The Giants were offside, but it turns out the Browns were offside, and so the 3 points go up on the scoreboard, and the Giants lead now 40-28 in just 60 seconds more National Football League action.
You're in line for great entertainment on WRGB Channel 6. Monday afternoon at 5, see Slim Carter. One day he's a two-bit entertainer, the next he's a big Hollywood star. See how a nobody who everybody liked became a world-famous somebody without a friend in the world, till a little orphan showed him the way. See Slim Carter Monday afternoon at 5. Then Monday night at 7:30, see mountains explode and the sky fill with blasting powder. See the hard-as-nails mining engineer clash head-on with the congregation of a little country church. See it all when Robert Taylor stars on Death Valley Days Monday night at 7:30. On Tuesday night at 9, see sky-high aerial combat. See the German ace meet the dashing American in the wild blue yonder as machine guns blaze, bullets shred the canvas fuselage, and a dizzy tailspin ensues. See David Jensen and Tab Hunter in Lafayette Escadrille Tuesday night at 9 on WRGB Channel 6.
Here at Municipal Stadium, there's a kickoff. It goes to Kelly. Up to 20, 25, 30, 35. He's clear at the 50-yard line. On his feet to 45 in Giant territory and down the 40. A brilliant run back by Kelly. And once again, Ernie Coy made the important tackle that brought him down. The important thing, of course, that clock. 5 minutes and 24 to go in the football game. The Giants in front, 40-28. And that was a good run back by Kelly from his own 5-yard line to the Giant 40. First and 10 for the Browns.
You know, Ted, with that 20-7 Atlanta-Minnesota score, we need to win today to stay out of the cellar.
Well, here we go. We're in front, 40-28. Browns line up. Bryant takes it, goes back to pass. He's looking. A little swing pass out to the left side. Green has that ball on the 35-yard line. The 30, there flags. He's on his feet at 25, and he's knocked down the 23-yard line. 2 flags on the play. And there's a pushing and shoving contest going on down there. Dick Shafrath looks like he could be involved.
It appears that penalty is against the Browns, at least so the indication that we received up here. Well, this has been quite a ball game, Ted. We've scored 68 points thus far in the game on the heels of 113 last week. That penalty is a slipping penalty against Dick Shafrath of the Browns, and he's still talking to the official, but they mark it off. They put it back on the 44-yard line of the Giants. Well, first down for the Browns. We've got 4 minutes and 57 to go in the game. And there is a big wind blowing down there, coming off Lake Erie. The lights are on, have been for at least 3/4 of the ball game. And now the Browns break it again. Ryan, the quarterback, waiting. The double wing, 3 men on the left side. It's going to be a pass. He's going back. He throws out to the right side. Kelly has it. He's free and clear. No, he trips at the 40-yard line, gets up again, then starts to run, knocked down again. And it looks like Ciccolello made that big one, along with Freeman White. And, boy, the second effort by the Giants defense prevented this fella from going a long way there, Ted.
Well, we've got actually when White, Ciccolello, and Smith are in there, we've got an all-rookie linebacker unit. Hildebrand is in now at left linebacker. Freeman White is over on the right side, and Ciccolello's in the middle. Here we go, 2nd and 11. The ball on the 41-yard line. The double wing again. Ryan's going to throw. He goes back. He's getting protection. Throws out here to the left side on the 30-yard line. Kelly has it. He's at the 25. Laterals off to Collins on the 20-yard line. And Collins is hit hard by 2 Giants at the 20. Ryder Lockhart and Freeman White. And the clock is still going. 3:52 to go in the football game. And the Browns must score twice to pull this game out.
The Browns, as a matter of fact, both the Browns and the Giants have 3 timeouts remaining. So we'll watch the use of the timeout in this ball game now, Ted.
It's 1st and 10 on the Giant 20. Collins goes to the right side. A double wing. Single man is Kelly. It's going to be a pass. He goes back. Ryan slips, gets up on one knee, finally lets it go in the end zone to Collins, overthrown. Direction McNeil, overthrown. Ryder Lockhart defended on that and gets up.
It looks too, Ted, like Frank Ryan has been shaken up on that play. The players are huddling around him.
Well, he slipped on the way back, setting up for that pass, and got up and really released it on one knee, actually. Well, there's no action on the field. Let's get some going right here. Time for a 10-second message. This is New York Giants football. And Giants football is brought to you by Volvo, the car that lasts an average of 11 years in Sweden and gets 25 miles to the gallon, even with automatic transmission. The Volvo scoreboard says the Giants 40, the Browns 28, Petrosani in for Green. And the double wing with 3 receivers on the right side. It's going to be a pass. Ryan goes back. A big rush. He finally lets it go, and it's incomplete. Intended for Gary Collins in the end zone. Correction, McNeil. I keep calling McNeil Collins. That 85 looks like 86.
Well, he was covered there by Spider Lockhart, or Clarence Childs, I should say. So that pass was well thrown, but Childs was right on him.
Dick, did you happen to see who put the big rush on Ryan on that one? Came busting through there. That was Glenn Condren, along with Freeman White. And so it's going to be 3rd and 10. The ball on the 20-yard line. Ernie Green now back in for Nick Petrosani. So it's Green and Kelly are deep men. Collins your flanker. McNeil and Smith the end. Another double wing. 3 men on the left side. Ryan takes it. Going back to pass. He has time. He throws in the end zone. Smith has it for a touchdown. Just stepped out of bounds just before he caught it.
Now, Henry Carr doesn't agree with that decision. And
beautiful catch. Henry Carr was on him, but he really went up after that one. Aggressive catching, and he got the ball with 3 minutes and 5 to go. And so it's 6 more for the Cleveland Browns.
3 minutes and 5 seconds of playing time remaining in the game, Ted.
40-34. Luke Groza will attempt. Both teams lined up. He kicks it. It's up. And it's good. The Giants 40. The Cleveland Browns 35. 3 minutes and 5 seconds to go in this football game. Let's pause briefly. This is New York Giants football. Now here's a message from Valentine. Hey friend, here's good news from Valentine. Valentine draft beer is now available in bottles and cans. That's right, Valentine Draft. That's the one, the draft beer flavor that really rings true. Rich, creamy head, light golden color, smooth and mellow going down. Tastes like it just came out of the tap. You pick up a six-pack of Valentine Draft at your friendly tavern or wherever you buy beer. Valentine Draft, that's the one. That's the one draft beer flavor that really rings true. Well, we've got a ball game, an exciting one. The Giants hoping to pull this one out there in front 40-35. 3 minutes and 5 to go in the football game. Childs and Harris, your deep men. We'll see if they switch, and you got to watch out for an onside kick here to see what happens.
Ted, you'll notice that Clanton Collier has on his kicking team all the speedy defensive backs, all 30 and 40 men.
Well, we'll see. The Browns need possession. Rosa has his hand up. There's the whistle. He's coming toward that ball. It's a regular kick up high, coming down to about the 6-yard line. Childs has it at the 10, 15, the 20, and he's hit hard and slipped at the same time. Williams brought him down in on that kickoff team for the Browns. And now the Giants, if they can run this clock out, can win this ball game. It's 2 minutes and 56 to go in the game. And the Browns, partisan crowd here at Municipal Stadium, they're yelling to get that ball. First and 10 on the 22. Thomas is sent wide to the right side. Jacobs and Larson, your deep man. Wood waiting for Larson to give it to him. He does. He hands off, this time to Jacobs. Goes up, picks up yardage to the 25-yard line, 26. And that's where he's hit. Picked up 4 in the play. It'll be 2nd and 6 on the 24. Direction the 26-yard line.
Fourth quarter score, Philadelphia-Pittsburgh 27-23. The Eagles over the Steelers. Second quarter, Atlanta 20, Minnesota 10.
And here's the thriller right here at Municipal Stadium. The Giants in front 40-35. 2:10 to go in the game. 2nd and 6. Gary Wood takes it. Hands up again, this time to Jacobs. And he goes up for yardage again. Short of the 30-yard line, just about the 28. Picked up 2. It'll be 3rd and 4 on the 28-yard line. Now this is the big 3rd down. You might say, I bet the most important 3rd down the Giants have had. And we've got 2 minutes to go. Both benches are being notified. 2 minutes to go in the game here at Municipal Stadium. The Giants in front, 40-35. And 3rd and 4 on the 28-yard line.
Well, we have a chance, Ted. Let's take a look at that scoreboard. Second quarter, Green Bay 7, San Francisco nothing. Fourth quarter, Philadelphia 27, Pittsburgh 23. Second quarter, Atlanta 20, Minnesota 10. Third quarter, Baltimore 14, Chicago 10. Detroit and L.A. are on the coast, and St. Louis and Dallas a late start ball game. That game will be televised nationally.
Well, we've got the thriller right here. The Giants, timeout on the field. Giants all standing, talking it over. 2 minutes, 2-minute warning given both benches. And I don't have to tell you, the Browns must take possession if they intend to win this game, and they trail by 5 points.
Ted, if there is any critical 3rd down call that Gary Wood has had to face, this is perhaps it for the afternoon.
And I'd like to mention, too, that Homer Jones, Willie Young, Pete Case, Larson, Boland, Davis, and Crispino have played the entire game, along with Aaron Thomas and Gary Wood. And this is that big 3rd and 4. Wood calls for silence, looks around, both teams lined up, takes it, takes the handle, a pitch out to Morrison coming around to the 30-yard line, and he's hit back of the 30. The clock is still running. Eric Barnes made the tackle with 1 minute and 50 to go, and the Browns call timeout. The Giants will be forced to punt. Let's pause briefly now. The score, the Giants 40, the Browns 35, and just a half a minute more National Football League action.
To every man who is likely to get into a discussion over pro football, WGY is giving away argument stoppers. That's right. WGY is giving away a fact book of the 1966 pro football season with statistics, players, records, and the hard facts on whatever you're likely to disagree about. It's a 128-page paperback book, a $1 value, absolutely free. Write for your pro football fact book. Write Argument Stopper, WGY, Box A, Schenectady. It'll make you practically invincible.
Kick by Ernie Coy. Couldn't get it off. It was a short kick. It landed in Giant territory at the 40-yard line. Correction, the 43. And a big break for the Browns. 1 minute and 44 to go. They trail by 5. First and 10 on the Giant 42-yard line. A field goal will not help. They've got to score if they want to win this ball game. Up front, Katkavich, Moran, Davis, and Condren. Ryan brings them up. Deep men are Kelly and Green. He takes it. Hands off to the big man, Kelly. He goes up to the 35, just short of the 30-yard line. And that's where he's brought down by two Giants, number 26 and 48, Harris and Childs. 1 minute and 37 to go in the football game.
Well, the Browns have just one timeout remaining, and of course, 1 minute and 37 seconds on the clock in which to score in this ball game, Ted.
Ernie Coy went back to about his own 10-yard line, and of all the times, I'm sure, when he wanted to really get a boomer off, it went off the side of his foot, but the footing is not good at all on that field. All afternoon, the quarterbacks have been slipping. Defensive men trying to make the turns and the breaks. And that was a big break for the Browns, and so 1 minute and 37 to go in the game. And Kelly, Leroy Kelly, just took that ball down to about the 30-yard line, just short.
Ted, it's amazing to see this crucial an atmosphere and to see the stands as empty as they are.
And now the Browns strike it again. They go into their double wing with 3 men on the left side. Single man is Ernie Green. Ryan's going to throw. He goes back. He throws out the Green. Incomplete at the 30. A swing pass out to the right side. Ernie Green had to turn to try to get that one. Had one hand on it but couldn't hold on.
Actually, he turned in when he should have turned out. Had he turned out, why, that pass was properly thrown, Ted.
It's 2nd and 10. And that ball is still just on the 30-yard line, just a little short of it. Up front, Katkavich, Moran, Davis, Condren, Hildebrand, Ciccolello, and White, Lockhart, Harris, Carr, and Childs. Now the Browns up again. 2nd and 10 on the 30. They go into that double wing. Green, the deep man. It's going to be a pass. And Green goes out again. He gets the ball this time. He has it on the 30-yard line, the 25, the 20. He cuts down. He may go all the way to 10, the 5. He goes in. Touchdown, Brown.
Well, Freeman White, it looked like he had him. And he just did a 360-degree turn, came right around, picked up blocking, raced to the near side of the field, and you could see it happening, Ted. You could watch that touchdown unfold. A remarkable comeback by the Browns. They have been trailing in this ball game throughout the course of the entire afternoon, and they have now, with 1 minute and 20 seconds remaining, topped off to a 1-point lead. Rosa will attempt the extra point. Minovsky holds. He kicks it. It's up. It's good. The Browns 42. The Giants 40. And some enthusiastic Brown fans came running on the field and were quickly taken off by the police. And it's kind of sad to think that the Giants, after putting this great game together, in the closing minutes here, a possibility of losing it. Well, Ted, now the score is 42-40, so the tables have turned. Now a field goal will be satisfactory for us. So it's a matter of getting that ball. We have 1 minute and 20 seconds and 3 timeouts remaining to move the ball into a field goal position. I think this is a time when we'll have to be very aware of the possibility of an onside kick.
Well, an onside kick, of course, the Giants recover, puts them in good position for that field goal. And so we'll see what's going to happen. Rosa, no doubt, will try to keep that ball away from Clarence Childs. He's lined up on the right side, and Harris is on the left side. They have been switching just as he kicked the ball. We'll see what happens. They're trying to outfox each other. Grossa, Childs, and Harris. Here comes the whistle. There's the boot. And it's
Bounces on the 1-yard line. Finally, it's thrown on there by Clarence Childs. That was a wild kick coming down about the 10-yard line. Looked like it was going into the end zone, but it stopped, bounced back, and now it's 1st and 10 for the Giants, and it's on the 1-yard line, their own one. They have 99 yards to go for a score, a touchdown, and that's a lot to do in a minute and 18.
Well, the ball couldn't have rolled more against us than that, Ted. That's as close as you can get to rolling against you.
All afternoon, Groza has been trying to outfox Childs and Harris, and he put one in there. There's the snap from center. It's going to be a pass. He's back in his own end zone. He throws out to Jacobs, has it on the 5, the 10. He's knocked out of bounds the 10-yard line hard. That was Jim Houston. The clock stops with 58 seconds to go, and the ball's on the 10. Could be a little more. That's enough for the... No, it's on the 10-yard line.
Well, here's the case where the Browns will give up the short yardage now, Ted. And, of course, we're watching for the bomb. That's mandatory at this stage of the game.
It's a 2nd and 1 on the 10-yard line. Homer Jones out to the left side wide. Gary Wood takes it, goes back, getting some protection. He throws out here, incomplete. Incomplete to Joe Morrison, who slipped as he turned to get that ball. Footing is very bad down here around the infield. Here at Municipal Stadium, the entire field is sodded except the infield. And when I say infield, I mean where they play baseball here at Municipal Stadium. 54 seconds to go in the game. The Giants led practically all of this ball game. Homer Jones goes to the left side now. Gary Wood lines his team up, takes it from center, goes back. A rush is being put on. He throws over the middle, incomplete. A flag on the play. A flag on the play. It looks like against Cleveland, possibly interfering with Joe Morrison. We'll see. Automatic first down. Gary Wood is shaken up back on the goal line there. He's on the ground now, having difficulty getting up. And now he's being helped off. Looks like it could be a knee or an ankle. And Kennedy is coming in. Well, what can you do? The Giants, who've been playing this season with about 27 injuries, are now put a game together. Finally, in the last minute and 35 seconds practically, the Browns scored, and now they put a drive together, and Wood goes out, and the new quarterback, Tom Kennedy, with Jones out to the left side. He takes the snap. He goes back. He throws to Jones. He has it on the 25-yard line, goes out of bounds to 28, and that stops the clock with 41 seconds.
Well, we still have 3 timeouts remaining, Ted, and I'm sure they're conserving those timeouts to that time when it's absolutely the only alternative that we have.
That was good for the first down. It's 1st and 10. The ball is on the 28-yard line, and from what we can see, Gary Wood is now going off the field, and it's his right knee. Trainer helping him off into the locker room. 1st and 10 on the 38. 28-yard line, 41 seconds to go. The Giants have 3 timeouts. They trail by 2 points. Tom Kennedy, quarterback. He takes it from Larson, slips and falls, gets up, and he's hit again. He fumbles. It's recovered by the Browns, who picks it up. He's at the 10-yard line. Glass has it, and he goes in, standing up for a touchdown. And Kanicki threw the block that did it.
Ted, we look at the scoreboard and we see that there have been 88 points scored in this ball game on the heels of 113 last week. It's been exciting football. Disappointing to us, yes, but nevertheless exciting football.
Disappointing, too, in the sense that I'm sure that every Giant, they really needed this win, along with Ali Sherman and the staff. And now here comes Groza to try for this extra point. Bill Glass picked up that ball and started running with it. Kanicki threw a good block and cleared the way, and he went in standing up. Tom Kennedy, who hasn't played all game, and it's a cold day here. He came in without a warm-up,
completed one pass to Jones, and then fumbled that snap from center. Here comes the kick. It's up, and it's good.
Well, as you saw, Ted, that extra point was kicked from the 10-yard line, and of course that arose out of a 5-yard penalty that was called against the Browns for taking too much time in preparation for the extra point attempt. But it's a 49-40 game, and Cleveland is out front. The Browns were slow in developing this afternoon, but have finished with a flourish, and really finished when it counted to supply the momentum when it was really important. The Browns scored 1 touchdown in the first quarter, 1 in the second, 2 in the third, and have scored 3 here in the final period. The Giants, quite in contrast, started out strong. They scored 2 in the first, 17 points in the second, a touchdown in the third, and a field goal in the fourth. Okay, Ted.
All set for the kickoff, and now we can watch for an onside kick. We'll see. It's a low one, though, a wobbly one. Bounces at 20, finally picked up there by Clarence Childs back on the 10-yard line. He reverses his field, comes back to the 15, so on his feet, goes up to about the 18-yard line. Finally, he's brought down hard. Wow, that's Dale Lindsey. He meant business. The clock reached 21 seconds ago. The Giants now trail by 9. Tom Kennedy, quarterback. Gary Wood, hurt. Had to be taken down to the locker room. Looked like it either was his knee or ankle. Well, you can't say it hasn't been exciting football. It's been everything you could want in a football game. Of course, if you're a Giants fan, you could want to win. 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2. There's a snap. Kennedy throws. Homer incomplete at the 33-yard line. There's the gun. And that ends it here at Municipal Stadium. The Giants leading this ball game practically the entire game and just finally losing it in the last 2 minutes.
Well, it's been quite an afternoon of football, Ted. Quite an afternoon. And we had a greater portion of the course of the afternoon when we thought that we were going to take a Cleveland victory back with us. That is, a victory over the Browns back with us to Yankee Stadium to oppose the Steelers. And perhaps we were then going to be able to end the season on quite a positive note, which is what Allie Sherman wanted to do. But that was all conjecture. And it is now a 49-40 situation. The Browns won it.
And the Giants, of course, played great football, and especially Joe Morrison and Gary Wood and Alan Jacobs, along with Homer Jones and the front line, offensive line of the New York Football Giants, who played practically all the ball game. It was a tough one to lose for them, and they just lost it in the last 2 minutes. Next week, why, the Giants play Pittsburgh, and that's the final. Philadelphia beat Pittsburgh 27-23. And so we'll be at the stadium bringing you the play-by-play. A special thanks to Dick Boyce today, who spotted for both teams and also supplied a lot of figures and facts for us that we hope made the broadcast interesting. So until next week, as they say, arrivederci. We'll see you then. Woody?
The final score, the Cleveland Browns 49, the New York Giants 40. Stay tuned for the scores of other games and a recap of today's action. Today's game was brought to you by Volvo, the car that lasts an average of 11 years in Sweden and gets 25 miles to the gallon, even with automatic transmission. Well, Ted Brown, this has been a very disappointing afternoon, not only for New York Giants fans, but certainly for members of the Giants. They played from the opening kickoff, literally, when Clarence Childs ran, as you indicated, 91 yards for a touchdown. And from that time forward, this Giants team played inspired football. And it was only, as you mentioned, in the closing 2 minutes of play that they really lost this ball game, because they were playing winning football throughout the course of the entire afternoon.
Well, you can't tell, of course. It's all hindsight, but I think with the bad footing that we had here today, most of the Cleveland Browns, a lot of them were wearing sneakers. Ernie Coy, when he went back to punt, he was standing in the what is here at Municipal Stadium, the infield of the baseball diamond, and the footing there is especially bad. The worst in the entire field is area, and that's when he got off that very poor punt that went about, I guess about 20 yards or 25 yards, landed on the 40 in Giant territory, and set up, of course, that first score for the Cleveland Browns. But the Giants were a different Giant team for the first half and well into the ball game for 2 minutes to go. Gary Wood, I think, just looked marvelous, and it's too bad. I hope he's okay, because they certainly could use him in the final 2 ball games, Pittsburgh and Dallas. And he operated and ran that ball club up and down the field, and especially when he had to make the big call, he did, and he made the big play. So it's, I guess you can say it's NFL football, exciting, and it's, this isn't the first ball game that was won and lost in the last 2 minutes. And it just, in this case, the Giants looking to get that second win, a big win. Psychologically, it would be a big win for the Giants. With these rookies, they've got to taste the feel of victory going into next season. It helps an awful lot. So we'll see what happens next week.
Well, Ted, I'd like to point out that we did score on the more positive side of our play these past 2 weeks. We scored 40 points this week and 41 last week. Now, this is indicative of the progress that we have made. As you know, we had a great deal of trouble during the initial portion of the season in scoring. And certainly in these last 2 games, we have shown that Alley and his coaches, without regard for 27 injuries out of 40 on the roster, have made some progress there.
When you look at the backfield, Tucker Frederick's the #1 draft choice. He's been out for the season. And then you had Chuck Mercine, who was a good fullback and was picking up the yardage, the leading ground gainer for the Giants up until he was injured. And now what do? You bring in Alan Jacobs and Joe Morrison, who's played every position. And Jacobs was especially outstanding today. He was picking up the extra yards every time when he really needed them. And so there are some bright sides to this game, even though we lost it in the last 2 minutes.
It was quite an afternoon of football for the Giants. They hopped off to an early lead when Clarence Childs returned the opening kickoff, 91 yards. From that time forward, it looked as though the Giants were going to be able to take home the victory to Yankee Stadium and close out its 1966 season in the upcoming 2 weeks, next week against the Pittsburgh Steelers and the following week against Dallas. But it was just not meant to be, because the Browns, who have been, of course, one of the strongest teams in the National Football League for these many years, proved as the afternoon went along to be just a little bit too much for these injured Giants, and finally came out with a 49-40 win for Cleveland fans.